Good afternoon, everybody. We are here
Good.
live YouTube R&B Mondays. Hi, Sheri.
Hi, Alfredo. How are you doing on this very rainy New York day?
It is, right? It's windy, it's pouring rain, but it's actually quite beautiful, actually. I'm not mad at it. It's nice. I'm doing great. You look lovely.
Thank you very much, as do you.
I thought we'd get dressed up for the occasion, right? If we're going to be at home, it's nice to have reasons to get dressed up and for everybody today on the education. I'm so excited for this week.
I'm very excited as well, and mostly I'm excited because we have all this activity with R&B. So, Alfredo, why don't you tell the group what is R&B? Because I think so many are asking.
You know what they really are. I know they're asking you all the time, DMing you, asking me. So we thought we would explain for you guys what is R&B. So it was actually born, for those of you guys that don't know, I'm actually a head of Matrix Education right now globally. And my lovely co-host Sheri, who is wearing the sparkles today and the beautiful glasses, she's actually head of education for American Brands. So, she is amazing. For those of you guys that I know, most of you know who she is. We've been doing all these different lives and stuff. But Sheri, you just inspire me so much, and I'm so happy to be on this journey. We came together. We have a whole team, you guys, that we've been talking, and we just felt like, there was never a better time than now to have all of the brands come together as one united community and give free education every Monday. I think it's something that we both probably wanted to do anyway, but we just felt like right now is the time to go and do it. So Raise My Bar, R&B. And as far as the American brands go, it's kind of a play on words. It also stands for Redken, Matrix, and Biolage. And every Monday, 1 p.m. EST, to start the week off, it's actually an entire system or ecosystem, if you will, that goes across many different days, bringing you guys different kinds of education and inspiration. And we kick it off Mondays like today with this incredible lineup that we have coming to you. Mr. Sam Bia, Jenny Ray Hare, and Philip Wolff. And every week we'll have 3 different artists. And we're going to be giving you guys an hour segments 3 times over with Sheri and myself hosting of different kind of education of everything you can think of, from hair cutting, hair coloring, styling, business, you name it. We want to bring it to you guys for free. It'll be hosted here on this channel, R&B Education. And then through our brands across the globe, this will be living on YouTube channels and Access L'Oreal all the way across. So we're just so excited to be launching this with you guys. And if you just look at the artist lineup across these brands, I mean, we have such a vast group of talent, Sheri, from everything from, business leaders, just really leaders in general that I know inspire you and they inspire me too. And we're just so grateful to be having such a huge, group of artists that are going to be on here every week. What we're doing on here, guys, is we're taking a non-branded approach and really bringing you technique-driven education every single week to our community. And we're just couldn't be happier to be here. Is there anything that you wanted to add to that, Sheri?
I think you've done an amazing job, Alfredo, of sort of summing it up. I think ultimately, just to reiterate that it's about breaking down the quote unquote walls of brands and just coming from stylists. We're both stylists, as is the rest of the team, the education team on the global side. And we're all stylists, and we want to have education that's by stylists for something that has been said in the industry for years. So we're not suggesting that that's something new. We just want to do it in a way that is unlike before and bring you exactly what you need when you need it.
Yeah, so, which brings us right into the week. After today is day 1, right? And Sheri and I are both hairstylists as well, just like all of you guys out there. And, on Tuesdays, we actually go live on my Instagram page with different artists every week, 1 p.m. EST as well, to keep it easy for you guys. On Wednesdays, we actually both put an Ask Me Anything. And what the purpose of that is we want to be there for you guys as a community. We want to know, what do you need to know? What are you struggling with right now? How can we be of service and help you? Because at the end of the day, that's a passion of Sheri, myself, and our entire team at American Brands, of every single person that works behind the scenes and in front of the camera. So, Thursdays, Sheri is live on her page with different artists in the community, answering those questions and really just bringing you everything that we want to share with you. Fridays, we post the next week's lineup. And on Monday, we're going to start. This isn't something that's going to go away. This is something that we're going to continue to bring to you guys each week, starting on Monday. So, Sheri, can we talk about the lineup this week?
Yeah, of course we can. So we're going to specifically talk about the lineup today. Just go to our Instagram pages. We'll continue to put the lineup for the next days. I just want to say hi to everybody who's coming in. You're welcome for the education. We are so happy to be doing this for you. And love to all of our different stylists, academies that are out there. Today we have an amazing group for you. As Alfredo mentioned, we have Sam Villa. Sam's going to be sharing some amazing tips, tricks, braids, things that you can do when you're in this time right now. If you were with me on Thursday, what you heard Sam talking about is how to reinvent yourself. And one of the things that I think is a great way to reinvent yourself is to take these techniques, braiding techniques, and make them every day, because that's exactly what Sam does. And he makes them every day, but also special occasion, right? So how do we utilize new techniques in order to make them exciting? We also have Jenny Ray with us, and Jenny's going to be sharing some things. I think they're sort of like in her kitchen, ways to take care of yourself, ways to share with your clients on how they can take care of themselves during this lockdown period. And I'm super excited about that. I think she gets some of that inspiration from her wife, who is an amazing chef, like a real chef. Like, I see all of these profiteroles and these great things that are being done in her kitchen. So I can't see how she takes that inspiration and it comes to life as it relates to hair. And then, of course, we've got Philip Wolff. And Philip is going to bring some awesome cutting techniques that, again, these are things that you can do to reinvent yourself today and moving forward. So, Alfredo, because these are Mondays, I think you and I are both the same, whereby we spend a lot of time over the weekend sort of, speaking to our friends who are in the industry, looking online, what everyone's going through, and sort of where their head is at. And I know that we come into Mondays, we have a meeting in the morning, and we talk about, how we can, sort of make sure that we're bringing to the industry what it needs right now. And that brings us these sort of what I'm calling thoughts for the day. So if you were to think of where you're at right now, what is your thought for the day?
My thought for the day, I talked to a lot of hairstylists this weekend, ebbs and flows, and I'm hearing right now a lot. Main thing I'm hearing, and I'd love to hear what you're hearing, is this thought of now, I think they went through this kind of shock or readjustment period, just realizing what's happening. Now they've been home for a little while, and I'm starting to see a lot of people just wanting to connect with their clients more. It's check-ins right now. I'm hearing of a lot of FaceTime consultations going on more than ever before. We saw it in the beginning, but I kind of saw that go up a lot over the weekend in hairstylists I'm talking to, and really getting a feel. I saw certain artists doing which I loved it. Take a picture of yourself right now and send it to me. And they were putting it in their stories of what their client's hair looks like right now after, the time that they've been in quarantine. And just really to give them an idea of what they can do to be of service to their clients when they get back, and how to best, get the clients in, treat the needs that the client has, and just kind of get ahead of it, scheduling and all of that. So that's been what I've been seeing online this weekend.
Awesome. So would you say your thought for the day is to remember to check in with our clients, see where they're at, celebrate where they're at, and find ways to be able to service them when they come back? Is that what
Yeah, absolutely. It's, it's stay connected, not only with the people in your salon, but with your clients. Let them know that you're here. It means so much to them. And just let them know that it's going to be okay. That's my thought for the day. So we're going to be
I love that. I love that, Alfredo. Very cool. Very cool. For me, I think I'm just going to sort of tag on to that a little bit, because I love the acts of service. And if you follow me at all, then you'll see that I talk about that a lot on my page. One of the things that I'm seeing, in addition to all of the great connections that are going on, is to your point, people have been sort of in lockdown in different areas, right? In different, I have friends that are in Arizona that just started lockdown. We've got our friends in Australia who haven't had a lockdown yet. And so for those that are locked down, even if you're not, there's this period, and I talked about it before, about, sort of, thinking, nope, that's not going to happen to me. And then there's this period where you're like, damn, this is happening to me. And what do I do? And then becomes this period of acceptance where you're like, okay, this is my now reality, not new reality, but now reality. And I think people have gone through that and they're feeling great about that. And then, based on the conversations that I was having over the weekend and what I was seeing, I think there's, sort of that proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, right? Yeah. People are feeling like, okay, I had a lot of fun in my now reality, right? And I was doing things like making videos and spending time sort of getting my online or social business together, or maybe they were making a lot of TikToks, which is a bad addiction for me. I'm up all night watching those videos on TikTok, laughing like I've never laughed. They're so funny. Yeah. It's so nice though, because I need that laughter. But what I would say to our hairdressers out there, who are people with big hearts, who feel what their clients are saying, they feel the struggles that their clients are having, they feel the struggle that their friends are having, so they're big, open hearts, but sometimes that can be an open vessel. And so what I'd say is that, while you're taking these times to serve your clients and serve your friends, and sometimes serve your family who need you as well, who are asking a lot of you, be careful for yourself, because as an open vessel, what can happen is you start to take on all of that, all of those emotions, and sometimes that frustration that your friends or your family are feeling, and that can weigh on you a lot. So I call it, not me. I learned this through I'm a certified coach, and what I learned is that there's something called detached compassion. So how do you love, honor, have empathy for the struggles that everyone else is going through while simultaneously protecting yourself, right? And so it's certainly, because we want to serve, we want to be there for people, we want to make sure that we are supporting them, and yet simultaneously not feel like it's draining on ourselves. And so it's a detached compassion, being able to help. Sometimes you're going to have, I call it, it's like a string, right? If somebody has so much negativity or energy or wants so much from you, you end up having this cord, right? That is from you to them. And there's a way to just sort of, how do you break that cord while still honoring, loving, and serving that person? So protecting your vessel, in other words, is like just protecting what you're bringing in, because that's super important for us as leaders, as people who want to serve. How do we protect ourselves so that we can continue to serve?
Yeah,
otherwise
absolutely.
We'll be in that place where we're quite exhausted, and that's not a good place for us to continue to serve. So that's my thoughts for today. And my other thought is that the first man that we have up with us is an amazing mentor, leader, teacher of mine. I actually first got my relationship with Sam first began, I think about 26 years ago, where he would come down from San Francisco, where he used to live, and be on our stages at what was, at the time, I think it was called the or maybe it was IBS Long Beach.
ISSC Long Beach.
Yeah, well, that's now, but it's had like 3 names. I'm old enough to know that. So, Sam would come down, he would be so inspirational. And this is a man who, again, continues to reinvent himself. And we talked about this a little bit last week as it relates to George. And Sam is another, icon for me that continues to reinvent himself. And now is the time to do that. And it's a time for us to reinvent ourselves as brands that support the industry. It's the time for us to all reinvent our thinking on the industry. And it's definitely a time to reinvent ourselves as hairstylists. So without any further ado, I would love to welcome to the proverbial stage, Mr. Sam Villa.
Thank you, Sheri and Alfredo. It is a pleasure to be with you on a Monday. And usually a Monday, I'm teaching a class, so this is a normal. I just want to say, everybody out there, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'm so excited to be with you these next 45 minutes. So let's get right to work. First, I want to share with you a real simple braid, guys. I think that when we go back, it's so important that we think about adding value behind the chair. When I talk about value, value is defined as knowledge. I want you to think about this, my friends. Be YouTube in the future. You are YouTube behind the chair. You're teaching from this point forward. You're going to be teaching your clients. Well, Sam, what are we teaching them? You're teaching them things that I say add value. In other words, things that are just simple little tricks that they want to know, things that can help them at home. And sometimes it's just so simple. So let me start out with a really simple braid that I think you're really going to enjoy. This color was done by Veronica Ridge, and she used City Beats in this. It's awesome color, and love Veronica in terms of her color. But let's talk about this braid. Simple. 2 simple strands. That's all I'm going to add to it is just 2. So I just slice that in half. Braid, think about the rhythm. Alfredo, that's so important in rhythm. Like, you probably have a rhythm in terms of how you apply color and what you do. It's the same thing we're doing here. Oh, you like my hat? Thank you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to palm it. Now, when I say palm, look at my palms of my hands. They absolutely palm that completely. So I palm that all the way through. Now, listen to the rhythm. Then I'm going to break it down the Y of each step. Palm, watch, slice, open, pull through position, claw, separate. So now let's define each word that I said. Think about a rhythm, okay? Palm, slice. Now when I say slice, I'm taking my right index finger. I'm going to slice this right side into 2. So I slice that into 2. If you're left-handed, you can do it on your left side, no problem. What you start with, if you start slicing on the right side, you continue to slice on the right side. I've even got Sheri doing it right now. That's awesome. So I slice it. Now watch. Thumb comes over and you open that up. See, I open that up. Immediately that puts me in what I refer to as a pull-through position. Thumb and index finger are going to connect. Now that frees your left hand. It's free. So now we're going to go to a claw position. Claw is going to be middle and thumb. Now I claw, middle and thumb, and I separate. So listen to the rhythm. Slice, open, pull through, claw, separate. Slice, open, pull through, claw, separate. Sam, I'm a little confused on the pull through. I know, I heard you. Let me explain it to you. Slice, open. See, I open that up. Now watch your pull through. All you want to do now is these 2 sections that you sliced here on this side, they look sliced. That becomes one section. Just go to a pull through position on it. Now you want to go through a claw. So my middle finger is going to claw this section, and my thumb is going to get this section. So I just pull that and separate. And look at the braid effect that I'm getting out of that, simply using 2 strands. Now, this is what I'm talking about in regards to adding value behind the chair. So, Sam, when would you suggest we do this? Thanks for asking. I would recommend that you do this while the color is processing. So think about it. If there's no one behind and you're not double booked, and the break room is the broke room. I want you to remember that. You go broke back there. Okay? I want you to get on the front floor, get your mannequin out, go sit with your client, forget about the magazines. No longer. You sit with her, you show her how to do this, get her hands in it, and let her do it. Make her the hero of the family. Sam, what if she has a pixie? If she has a pixie, you're making her the hero of the family, meaning nieces, granddaughters, whoever she happens to have, in terms of what she can do. But this is the idea about adding value. Now watch what I'm going to do. See, I've had this here. All I'm going to do is just take a simple elastic. I'm going to show you a cool little trick with elastic later on. Take the elastic. Now watch what I'm going to do. All I'm going to do is put that along. Okay? So now, have you ever seen Alfredo, a mom, with her daughter? Baby comes in the salon, and her daughter's little ponytail is this thin. And she's got a big, fat elastic, and she has to twist it 10 times to get it tight. Watch this. Simply client to just twist, 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 twist. So she's not twisting and pulling through like she normally does. You twist this all the way down to the base, and boom, you apply that on there, and you went through once. It's these simple little hair hacks that are going to make you the hero when we get back to those salons. So that's a simple 2-strand pull-through. Wanted to show that to you. Any questions so far on that one? I'll continue on. Now, What I want to do is I want to show you a simple haircut. That's right, Sheri. I want to show them a simple haircut because I think this is going to add value behind the chair when they get back. And then I'm going to come back to another braid. So what are you going to do, Sam? How many people come in to you and say, I'm afraid of layers, but I'm really afraid of layers, Sam, but I just really scared. What would you recommend? Well, watch this. Watch when I just tickle it. Look how it pops. Okay? So if you look at this particular shape, it looks like it's seamless, meaning it doesn't look layered. Look at that. And it almost looks like it could be one leg's hair, but when I start touching it, look what's happening. Mm-hmm. So you can just see how that happens. So watch the silhouette too. Look at the silhouette. I'm going to put her a little closer to you, and look at how the hair moves. So it just has some movement. It's got a silhouette to it. So let me show you how I created this very quickly and very easily. Welcome to the Sammy Cooking Show. Okay. So let's go.
Love.
Okay, now look at my sectioning. Okay, let's take a look at the front. So I have a triangle section in the front. That's going to be my fringe area. We'll come back and revisit that. And now I'm doing something a little bit different this season that I picked up from a great artist by the name of George Joa from Redken, Canada. If you ever get a chance to see him, make sure you check him out. He is incredible what he does. But what I'm doing is I'm going to do it a little bit differently. We inspire each other, okay? I'm going to take it from the high point of where I took that section on my mannequin up at the top. Now, you take this as far back as you want. From that point, I'm going to go diagonal down, not to where the front changes to the back. I'm going to go to my right corner back. Then from there, I'm going to go diagonal back to the center back. So it's almost like a round diamond, if you will, Alfredo. You probably love diamonds, my friend. I know Sheri does. But you're going to go diagonal back. But because it's a head, it kind of has a little bit of roundness to it, all right? So that's what I did. Let's go to the board here. Follow me to the board here, and let's take a look at the section over here. So what I've done is, that's my fringe area. Look how I go diagonal back now. I'm not saying go diagonal where you normally might find the high point of the head. By doing this, what's happening is you're able to go in and save more weight underneath. The complaint about these shags is it's too fine, too thin at the bottom. I'll show you how you can make both of those people happy. Look at the back of this. Now, it looks more of a straight line, but because of the head, it'll round itself out. So it's a diamond shape that we're working with so that we leave a little bit more weight and length in through that area. So where do we start, Sam? We're going to start in this top area. Then watch what I'm going to do. I want to introduce you to something that's a little bit different in terms of how I'm going to layer this out, Alfredo. It's pretty cool. Okay? So I'm going to give you a profile view. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to take horizontal sections. Okay? Take a look up here. See, if you look at the top of the head, can you see that? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Good job. All right. So you can see I'm taking horizontal sections on the top area here. That's what I want to do on that. So I'm just going to take her down so you can start to just see that. And you can see how all I want to do is just get a really kind of layered, but I want this layered to be really seamless. So now this is where I'm going to start those horizontal sections on the top. I'm going to give you a profile view so you can see the degree of elevation. But watch what I'm going to do. Notice how I have the underneath in a ponytail because as I cut this and I release it, stay in control. Yes, it is detached. It is detached. And the reason it's detached is because that's the way we're going to maximize our volume, our softness, and our movement. Okay? Now, let's get her head in the upright position. Okay? And I should still be in the screen. Okay? Now, let's take a look. Because I'm going to layer with a fine tooth of the comb, working with a white comb so I can see contrast. I'm going to bring this guy all the way down to the bridge of her nose. Now, once I have that, I'm going to elevate on a diagonal. You can see the elevation. Just give me a thumbs up. Good job. All right. Now, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to scan this season. I'm going to take my body out of it so you can see. All right. And I'm going to give you a profile view. You've got to. Let me just cut this first section. Look at my guiding blade. It's on my ring finger. My action blade, the thumb blade, is on top. Now, watch how I just work and I scan. And I'm going to give you, right now, you see the elevation. Okay, so all I'm doing is just scanning like a computer. Let's take another section, horizontal section. Now this time I'm going to turn it. I'm going to keep it this way because I want you to see something. Okay, watch my next section. Don't pick up the fringe. My next section. Now here's what's cool about this. Okay, take a look at my guy. Okay, here's my guide. If you can see it, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, great. Now watch. As I elevate, look at me elevate. Look at the guide going into my finger. When that guide disappears halfway in between my index and my middle finger, now I'm ready to cut. Let me just back up a little bit. You can see that. Can you see it? Yes or no? Good thumbs up. Great job. Now, so Sam, are you saying that you're actually sliding past that guide? Yes. So what I'm doing this season, instead of detaching just sections, big areas, I'm detaching sections. So each section is disconnected. Why, Sam? So I immediately create the texture that I'm looking for, my next horizontal section. So watch me pick up that whole area. Okay? This is my fringe area. And let's stay in control. Let's get this out of the way so you can just see what I'm cutting. Okay, watch again now. Watch this. The comb comes from underneath. The hair is captured in the comb. Allows me to control. Now watch me elevate. Now watch me fold. I'm going to get my elbow out of the way so you can see. Look at me fold. Look at that. Now watch me come up to the guide. And then as I get to that guide, slide it in so it disappears. I want that guide gone. I don't want to see it. So Sam, are you dropping the guide? No. I'm still holding that guide. So if you look at this from a profile view, let's take a look at it, Alfredo, Sheri. Yeah. Take a look at it. You can just start to see how this is being looked like it's chipped into. And that's because each guide is detached from the previous. So if this is the comb, that's the comb. Okay, watch the comb, the spine of the comb. Watch where it goes. This is the hair going inside. You see how it's halfway in between my index finger and my middle finger? Yeah. That's the concept of what I'm trying to teach here. So what's so cool about this is it gives you layers. It gives you the layers you're looking for, the graduation you're looking for. It all gives you that built-in texture, which is incredible. Okay, here we go again. Sam, yes. Are you over-directing to a stationary guide? When I get to about my next section, you decide where you want to go in terms of, remember, over-direction. Because this is, let's talk about that. That's natural fall. Elevate, elevate, elevate. Now over-direct. That's a side-to-side movement. So I over-directed that. Let's not get over-direction confused with elevation. Now, when I'm doing this, I'm over-directing to each previous section. But once again, your guideline slides in. Okay? Any questions out there so far?
Well, Sam, I think it's dangerous because look at, I think I can actually... It goes in my nose.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to start cutting my own hair.
Are you getting some ideas, Sheri? I feel like this cut would look great on you.
I've got my little drawing here. I'm super excited. We did have a question, which of course I just answered quickly. But if you have some additional things to say, Paul is asking: is the head position important?
Be aware. Let me say it this way. Thanks for the question. Be aware of the head position. So sometimes, Sheri, in other words, let's talk about that. If the head position is upright, and I say, elevate this hair here, 90 degrees or straight up at the head, you can see that straight up. Yet, if her head was here, and I told you, elevate that 90 straight up, you would go here, but really when she brings her head up, what you're doing is you're actually over-directing that. So be aware. If you want to make it simple for your body position, be here so you can get to it, then make sure that you're 90 right out from that. So in the room, it might look like on diagonal, but really if her head came back up, straight up, then that's exactly where I'm at. So be aware of the head position.
Excellent. And Kayla is asking what types of shears. I let her know that you're probably using Samvia shears. Is there anything you would like to say about them?
Yeah, and you know what, guys, thanks for asking, but I'm not here to sell you. I really want to focus on education. But if you really want to know, I'm using the 6.25 signature series shear. Now I've got so many I can't even remember them all, Sheri.
Right. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see Paul Faltrick was with us last Monday and blew my mind with this whole 50-degree bevel versus a lower degree bevel, and showed us, which I think is also very important. It could be that we go back to the salon and we have condensed time with our clients. And if that's the case, we're going to need to do things like you're showing us now, these quick layering techniques, cutting a bob in 20 minutes or less. And so he talked about the different bevels of the shear, which I thought was amazing. And so I do know that I have a lot of Sam Villa shears as well. And I love all of them. I also love that you keep in mind there's a movable part for your thumb so that it's easier on the wrist. And I think you're just amazing, Sam. Do you want to talk? I know you're not trying to sell anything, but tell us about this year.
Here's the most important thing is hold, my friends, what's most comfortable in your hand. I love Hanzo. I love Hikaris. I love Casio. But, I'll hold what's most comfortable. These are ergonomic. If you're having any issues, make sure you look into the Sam Villa shears because I really focused on the ergonomics. But most importantly, hold what's in your hand, whether it be a straight handle or a swivel handle. Most women, I suggest if you're cutting a lot of men's, you need to go to swivel. That's easy to do. So because it makes it easier for your body position. Now watch this. When I comb this out, I should have an angle that goes from short to long. So watch, when I comb that out, do you see that angle? Look at that angle. It goes short to long. So what's cool about this is that's what's going to give this hair this movement of doing this. Like here's what I pre-did, okay? And now look at how you're getting that. And this is a shorter version of it. So you could do a short version or a long version of that. Now listen, look how long that took me to cut. It's not how much you take off, it's what you leave on. So let's say for this example, she's a yoga teacher. She has to pull her hair back in a ponytail. Can you see that she could still probably get this back in a ponytail up in this area because all this would be left long, right? So that's just a really cool way to go in and layer. So let's go to the board, follow me. Let me just show you what I did visually so you can see it. So what we did was we came through here, we took our first section, we brought that all the way to the bridge of the nose, and we went through and we did that. That became the guard. Okay, now every section, I did about a few of them, that each one just got slightly longer. Then as I got to about straight up in the head, now I change my over direction. That becomes my guide. Next one gets slightly longer. So each section I took up got slightly longer. When I release this, I should have this. Okay, that's what I'm going to have, but that sits over this one length hair. That's the beauty behind this, and I recommend this on a bob. It's incredible doing this on a bob. Now, let's go a step further, and you can start to see. Remember, everything, let's take a look at the over direction here. I probably went to about there, then that became a stationary guide, and I took everything there. Now, all of this, if you take a look at it, watch this, the other way. Watch over here. If you can see this, give me a thumbs up. Right here, right? All right, watch. Let me give you what I did. Here's what I did. Let's take a just look at the cutting edges now. Now the next one, just slightly longer. And I scanned into it. The next one, just slightly longer. And I scanned into it. So that's what's so cool about creating texture as you cut, so that you're not spending so much time detailing and texturizing so much after you cut. Now,
so
let's
Sam,
go into something.
We're going to have the head forms up at a later date as a reference for everybody. So just to let you know, one question has come in about, are you compressing the hair or would you separate into more sections for thicker hair?
Excellent. Great question. All right. I would not compress. I'm kind of tending to move away from compressed cutting now. I'm getting more into discipline. And I think that it's time the industry, the barbers woke us up, Sheri, and I think it's time we get back into discipline. So I'm trying to not compress so much. It's just, once again, want to move forward. I want to do things in a different way, but still with some discipline, getting back into fundamentals. So compress, let's talk about that. Taking one big section at one time. You've seen me do that in the past. Now I'm taking it section by section, maybe not so fine and thin, but section by section, I'm detaching each section. So, Sam, where did that come from? Guys, I'm just the messenger. That came from Vidal Sassoon when I saw them in Salon International. They were going through and they were detaching and they called it reverse graduation. So think about it. It's like a bob. I remember when I was taught Sheri the very first time to cut a bob, he said, Sam, cut your guide. The next section, he said, leave it just a little bit longer. And I made a face. I go, Bob, that's not how I was taught. His name is Bob. That's not how I was taught. And the next section was slightly longer. Next section, and he said, Sam, that's going to make it easier for them to apply, make it more pliable for them to get it under. And I thought, so all I did, we just reversed that. So now it's short layer, slightly longer, slightly longer. I hope this is making some sense.
Yeah.
If it is, let's go on. Okay, now, let's go to a fringe, guys. And then I'm going to show you a really cool little braid here. All right, let's go to fringe. Now, fringes are really popular. Just simply say to the client, let's awaken your shape. And they would go, what do you mean, Sam? Remember, the language is so important to get their attention. Well, let's just go in. Louise, you say you want to change, but you don't want to lose any length. Why don't we just cut a fringe, and that will change everything. So watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take a triangle section. Sam, how wide do you take this? I'm basing it on natural fall right now. You base this on how wide, based upon facial features, you want to open up the face. So that's your creative call, guys. Just a messenger giving you the pattern on what to do. Once we're there, take a clip and tilt that back. Take another clip. Sam, yes. Do you recommend cutting fringes dry? Yes, I do. So that's why I'm not going to dry that for the sake of time. This is the cut done, shorter version than what I just showed you. But now watch what I'm going to do to awaken. I'm going to cut a fringe into it. So here's the idea. The fringe that I want to cut is, I want to cut a fringe that is a little bit more chewed on the edge. It has some weight to it, but it's a little bit chewed to it. So I've been thinking about these shags, Alfredo, that we've been doing and how we've been doing it. And I thought, well, why can't I apply that to a fringe? So that's exactly what I'm going to do, is apply it to a fringe. So watch this one. So we got this area, and I suggest you cut them dry. You have more control of your fringes when you cut them dry. I'm going to take just a small little piece. Watch how small this little piece is. Look at that. That's from the layering that I did earlier. Okay, now watch this. This little piece here, I want you to come through, and now I'm going to work with a smaller shear. Okay, and I want you to come through, and I want you to take this to the hairline. So I'm looking for a hairline. I lay it right on your hairline, and I cut it. How many of you just panicked? Did you panic, Sheri?
Yeah.
Now look at that. Okay, now watch this. We know through the principles of design that over direction, I pull from the opposite direction, it creates weight and length. So watch what I'm going to do. Look at now. I'm taking horizontal sections. I'm going to over direct back to me. Let me give you a profile view of that. Okay, now watch. See this section? Watch me bring it back to me, and I look for my guide, for that little guide that I've got. I'm looking for it. There it is. Right there. I see it. Now watch me come in, and I'm going to point cut so that you can see I'm going to go from my left to my right. I'm unorthodox, but it's important to see. All right. Now, that's my second section. So, Sam, what kind of sections are you taking? I'm taking horizontal sections across this area. So here's what I'm suggesting we do. Think inside out, meaning layer first, then you come back and take off your length. Alfredo, if I went there and I knew I want to take this to about maybe her eyebrows, if I go in and bring everything down one length and cut to her eyebrows, we just created a lot of weight. Now you're going to work twice as hard to layer that out. By layering first, it's going to make that edge much lighter and easier for me to get a softer textured edge. So that's what I mean by thinking inside out. Layer that hair, graduate it first, then come back in and take your length where you need to go. And I recommend you do that on all of your shags. A lot of times we layer, we start bulk, we layer. Now you're working twice as hard to get that bulk out. Any questions?
No questions coming through. Everybody's very excited. Joanna says that she also only cuts her fringes dry. She also panicked like I did. Jenny Ray's telling me not to do it. Save yourself. Keep the scissors away. I'm like,
You know what? I definitely I have a question because Sheri, you just brought up doing it yourself, right? What advice do you have, Sam? And I want to hear this from me too, just for clients reaching out. You know, we know what's going to happen. Clients' hair is getting long. If they want to cut their own bangs at home, like what is some don'ts that you can share of, like, you know, how to best, you know, we don't want them to, but if it's going to happen, how can we help them with that if they decide that they want to cut their own hair to get them through?
Thanks for asking that, Alfredo. I think there's the do's and the don'ts, the pros and the cons.
Yeah.
Professionally speaking, I would recommend that they don't cut it. Yet, are people out there, Alfredo, that have so much emotion going on right now.
Yeah.
And every time they look at themselves in the mirror, they're not liking what they see. Yeah. And I'm going to tell them, if you need to cut your fringe and it's going to make you feel better, cut it. You know, that's what's most important to me right now, Alfredo. It's not about the dollar. It's about the life of a human being. It's not about the look. It's about your happiness, about that smile. And you know what? If somebody doesn't have a smile, I'm going to give them one of mine. But I really think that that's so important that we as hairdressers understand. We're navigating ourselves through this crisis. Your beliefs, you know, you cannot control what your neighbor is doing, so let it go. You can't control what your neighbor is doing, so let it go. Focus on what's going to make you happy. So that's my advice, Alfredo, to the client. So that said, Sam, what would you teach them to do? All I would simply teach them to do is, look, cut it longer than what you think you want it. Yes. That's the most important thing to remember. Because they don't realize and have the skill and the mindset that we do that it's going to shrink up. So I tell them, always use, you know, the tip of the nose, no shorter than the bridge of the nose, or they're going to get themselves in trouble. And I tell them, don't layer it, just get the length out of your eyes. That's it, and leave it alone from there. But that's my advice, Alfredo. But I stand more on the professional side, but yet right now in this crisis, to me, it's about the human being right now and how they're feeling.
Yeah,
so I hope that
Thank you so much, Sam.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more, Sam. Yes. And, you know, what's interesting, and I talked about this last week, I was a nail tech for 4 years, did my own nails. I have no desire when I can finally come out of lockdown to continue to do them. I need Carmen. and yet I know what I'm doing. And so I think that what is interesting is that we are, you know, there seems to be this thought that if they do it themselves, they won't come back to us. But I actually think the reality is that if they try it themselves, and let's say their fringe shrinks up, let's say it's shorter, it will only help them to see that it's not so easy doing what we do, that it actually takes more skill, it takes more, you know, being thought, it takes more knowledge of how the hair responds. So in the end, it will give them a little bit more of you know, a sort of a respect for the craft, if you will. I have got, let's see, there's a couple questions here, which is, would you do the same with first, is the fringe in natural fall?
All right. The fringe was blow dried in natural fall, yet she had a little bit of a cowlick here. So I blow dried it with the fine tooth of the comb, working an X pattern. Okay, that's a great way for clients to handle erratic growth patterns in their fringe areas. So have them look at. So I did that. Now, I think what's most important, guys, is when you don't cut a fringe just because a client wants it. What I want you to do is ask them, are you up to the maintenance? That's what I don't think they realize, the maintenance in terms of if they had a cowlick or a widow's peak, whatever you want to call it. But we got to teach them how to control that. So really, I really believe in blow drying it. That way you can get the length where you want, but you control that growth pattern. Remember, the shorter something is, the more growth pattern it's going to take over. The longer it is, the more gravity is going to take over. That's something that's so important for us to remember. Now, look at this, Alfredo and Sheri. For those that panic on how short that little guy was, now look at all the length I have. Yeah. But watch when I tickle this. Look at that. You see when I tickle that? Now we're going to come through, and I'm just going to come through, and I'm going to bite it. So come through, and I want the edge. Sorry, Alfredo. I want the edges
so
to look like they're kind of like chewed into. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift my elbow so you can see. All right, not a natural position, but you're most important right now. Okay, watch what I'm going to do. Bite, 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 bite. So I place that. I just pinch. Bite, 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 bite. Sam, I don't understand what you mean by bite, bite, bite. Okay, bite, 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 bite. That's what I mean. So I'm not pinching and talking. I'm just biting. Look at the angle, the shear. It's almost at a 45. Bite, 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 bite. Bite, 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 bite. Sam, it looks like you're slide cutting it. No, I'm just biting at different areas. Now watch. Watch this center area, and you'll just start to see what's happening. So you can angle down if you want. I'm going to make this go across. I want this to look like it has a little bit more weight to it, but I want this edge not just blunt across, which is why I'm choosing to cut it this way. Now look at that. So you can just start to see that edge. But look at the layers I got on top of that already. So layer first, then come in and establish these lengths. And you start to see how this really just starts to awaken a shape. And that's how you use verbiage. You know, I think we need to really update our communication skills. Change your language. Change your language to get their attention. I think that's so critical. All right, swivel just helps me align that shear straight up and down. Keep your eyes closed, Louise. All right, it just helps me to keep that shear a little bit more lined up, straight up and down. All right, now, coming up next, what you got for us, Sam? I got one more trick before my time's over. And all I'm simply going to do is show you a really cool little accessory in terms of braiding and how to make the hair look a little bit more accessorized. Now, look at this.
Sam, before we move on to that, there is a question on, would you cut the fringe the same if they had an offset part?
Oh, great question. All right, let's talk about that for a moment. I would cut it the same if they had an offset part. I would teach them how to eliminate that part, because you can see there's no part in this. So yes, I would cut it with an offset part, but remember, blow dry first, you'll get rid of that offset part. The next thing is, if people want a curtain fringe, you know what a curtain fringe is? Just give me a thumbs up. I'm sure everybody does. But if they want a curtain fringe and they say, well, my part is on the side, and I tell them, no, a curtain fringe happens from the middle. Well, it's on the side. I go, okay, you're going to have a drape, you're going to have a curtain and a drape, but you're not going to have the curtain fringe on both sides. So, you know, communication skills build your wealth. How you communicate things is so, so critical, guys. So I would recommend, guys, just understand there's so many ways in which to get something, that I just feel that, you know, simplicity is today's brilliance. Remember that when you get back to salon. Simplicity is today's brilliance. What do you mean, Sam? Watch this. Let's go to some long hair. So now, here's what I did. Okay, now watch this. If I take all this out of this other mannequin here that I actually cut, you can just start to see that you can see that she still has long hair, but she's got something happening up here, and this cut is great to depict it also. All right, so let's set that over there. Bye-bye. Come back and see me again, okay? Here you go. All right, now watch this. My last little thing I'm going to got, and then you got Jenny, and you got the awesome Jenny and Alfredo are coming up, which I'm going to watch that too myself. All right, here we go. I'm going to take this out, but look at me detangle, guys. Look how I got the comb vertical when I detangle, not horizontal. Okay, great way to get your tangles out. All right, here we go. Cool little trick. First of all, I want to show you how to go in and actually cover up the elastic. All right, so now I'm just looking for my cushion of pins. Where'd it go? All right, here we go. So what I want to do is I want to cover up that elastic. And the way you're going to cover up the elastic, I want you to take 2 long pins. Watch this trick, guys. Great little trick. So I've got 2 long hairpins here. Okay? I'm going to slide 1 hairpin underneath that elastic. Some of you have seen this before. Great to see sometimes again, if you've forgotten. I'm going to take a section of hair. Now watch. Palm and pinch. That hairpin, the top of it, went underneath the elastic. Now I'm going to palm and pinch, and I'm going to wrap. And I'm going to wrap. And I'm going to wrap. Now watch. I'm going to take another hairpin, and I'm going to open this up. The legs of that are opened up. They capture the hair. It's on maneuver that hairpin, the eye of the needle. So I want to get the thread to the eye of the needle. So I go through here, and I just simply weave this through. There. Now watch. Pull and push. Grab your hairpin and pull through. And like magic, what we've been able to do is we've been able to cover that up. I want to give credit where credit is due. The great Redken artist, Marco Arena from Germany. He shared this trick with me. He's awesome. If you ever get an opportunity, make sure you check him out. Now, I'm going to work with some product. I love working with my rough paste from Redken. Okay, guys, we're not here to sell, but I love this. It's a binding. I use it for binding, Alfredo, when I like to braid. So I'm emulsify. Okay. Some people will go, Sam, it's a little bit thick when I put it in my hair. I suggest you put it in a little lid, hit it with a little blow dryer, warm it up, melt it, and now you get good, easy application of it. So I come through. All right, now watch this one, Alfredo. We're going to take an elastic. I'm going to use a black elastic so you can see it. Okay, now remember, on this trick, the elastics are exposed. Okay, I'm just going to warn you. So pick a colorful elastic if you want. Your call. I'm just the messenger. Here we go. Take a section. And you're going to come through and take that section, the elastic's a triangle. So I made it into a triangle. Watch the triangle go on top. I place it on top. Watch me grab this hair with my index finger. I'm going to grab it with my index finger, pull it through the elastic, twist it. Meanwhile, I still have control of the elastic. I'm just going to slide this onto my index finger. Then I'm going to lock that. See, I lock that. So I twist that once, Alfredo, Sheri, to lock it. There's your triangle. Now reposition your index, middle, and ring, and index, middle, and thumb. The index finger goes inside. Grab that section, pull it through the elastic again, and place it through on that index finger. Twist. Now come through. There's a triangle. Index finger goes in. Go in between your hair and your finger. In between. So I go inside. Watch me go slow motion. Inside. Grab it. Bring it through the elastic. Twist. Back up. Now lock that in. Now watch this. Take your index fingers. Marry them together. Slide this off. Take the elastic. Slide it up over everything that we just created. And voila, release. And you get this effect to it. So it's almost like what we're doing, Alfredo, is you're simply coming through and you're adding like a little flower effect to it. It's just really simple. And I think, like I said earlier, I think simplicity is today's brilliance, guys. And clients, our guests, they are looking for simplicity, especially in today's world, what we've gone through. They want simplicity. So there you go. Just something really simple, easy to do. Real simple. Would they like to see it one more time? Or I think my
yes.
I want to see it one more time.
All right, here we go. Now I've got my rough paste on that. Okay, and you can put as many on this as you want. Okay, let's go back to an elastic.
So Sammy, if they're not using, if they're not currently, they don't have rough paste, what kind of product is it that they're looking for in order to be able to do the same thing?
Thank you for that, Sheri. A gel or a paste. I prefer a paste over a gel. A gel gets too tacky. A paste has a little bit more smoothness to it. That would be my part of choice. Thanks for asking. Okay, here we go. Triangle. Now watch me just turn my triangle to the hair. Index finger goes over. Now watch that. Just grab that section, pull it through, palm up. Place this on your index finger. Again, you got to lock that in so they stay separated, each loop you pick up. Now watch again. Index finger goes in, go between your hair and your index finger, pull it through. See, I just pulled that through. Now my palm is up. And now place that on there. So Sam, are you saying palm starts down? Yes, look at that. Palm down, in. Now look at the hair. See if I can get you to see it. Okay, look at the hair here, my index finger. Go inside between the two. Pull this hair through, twist, and now lock. Index fingers connect. Slide it down off, and let this elastic slide over that. Boom. Let's slide over that, and you've got another one.
Ooh.
Yes.
So good.
So simple to do, guys. Really simple to do. And I think right now is the time to push our reset button, Sheri, Alfredo. I'm trying to push my reset button, and I'm researching and discovering. I want to reset my attitude. I want to reset my personality. I want to reset my skill set. I want to reset my voice. And this is a great opportunity. So when as we navigate our crisis through it, let's discover things. And then when you come out on the other end, I guarantee you're going to come out so much more powerful. And this is an opportunity to empower yourself and empower each other. I want to thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to share with you. I mean, we're all in this together, guys. What can I say?
Excellent. Sam, thank you so much. I think there's a couple things I just want to hit on that you shared with us today. First, it's this amazing way to add some layers into the hair that isn't necessarily scary, but simultaneously could be quick for those appointments when our clients come back in. So thank you for that. It's, again, preparing yourself for when your doors reopen, if that's the situation you're in. We're hearing some things here that, this is like having a cute little accessory for the hair. I love this. Yeah. It's about adding value and bringing more to your clients. And I'm going to go back to the very first braid that you did. And there was something that I don't know. I'm sure I know I've heard you speak about how to help add value to the clients, but I think this was a new level, always raising our level, raising our bar, Sam. Right. And that is, get your mannequin, and while the color is processing, help to share with your client, while they're doing the mannequin, how to create those simple braids that they can do on themselves, that they could be the hero for the family and for the friends. And it's a way to add value in a way that is showing that we care about them. And I as always, I loved all of those things.
I loved it too. I loved that he talked about when the client's color's processing, or if they have a short haircut, maybe they have somebody with them, their daughter or something. And I love, he called the break room the broke room. I'm never going to forget that.
No, I absolutely will not forget that. I won't promise that I won't cut my hair, but maybe I can call you later and you can FaceTime. You can make sure I'm doing it right.
I can do that. Just remember, last thing I want to leave you with is price is what they pay and value is what they get. Hold on to the thought when you get back to salon. And I just want to say, let's move our industry forward in a healthy, sustainable way, my friends. Thank you for the time.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you. Please, everybody, continue to go to Sam's page, Sam Via Hair. Look at what all of those that work with him are doing as well. I think that's super important. Sam, who are some guys that you'd like everybody to follow? Because I think they're doing great work.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Sheri. Tom Connell right now is really hot for me. He's with I believe he's now with Davinus, I believe. But that guy is just incredible, Sheri. He's doing some cuts, and it's like they're halfway, and then he dresses the other. It's just amazing what he's doing. So Tom Connell is really somebody I love to follow. And then some of my favorites, Anthony Muscolo and Robert Labetta. I've always followed those guys. I'm very fortunate. I will be doing a live with Anthony and Robert. Stay tuned for that. You'll get to hear about that. And then also, I think that it's important that you follow the brands, guys. Follow the brands, because they're giving so much education right now, and that's so valuable. So thank you to.
And what about Andrew Carruthers?
My man Andrew, he's doing something, Sheri, that's been a big hit for us. Cabin Fever with Andrew on Tuesdays. And if you haven't seen that, Andrew's a life coach, and the guy is so motivating and so calming. Highly recommend you catch that. And then at 5 o'clock today, I'll be live again with Hef Academy, Rebecca Taylor, our good friend.
Love that.
Taylor. I'll be 5 o'clock live there, and then Tuesday I'll be back on tomorrow. What's today? Monday. Tomorrow, back on at 11 for Redken again, or for actually Sam. Yeah.
Excellent, Sam. Thank you as always for being the mentor that you are to myself, to Alfredo, to the entire industry. We love you.
Love you, Sam.
God bless. Thanks so much.
God bless you too. Okay, so I hit my reset button, Sheri, for sure. Like Sam says, for me, like you talk about wanting to know balayage, I'm not the best braider, and I usually cut with, stylists or cutters. So I was taking so many notes. I've got my notepad right here, and I was just drawing pictures like you and taking notes. I learned so much right now. I've got to go back and watch it later. You can watch this because it's going to be on the R&B YouTube. So I'm definitely going to go and watch Sam again and just see, what I can pick up on the second time around.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that you lost learn how to cut hair.
I love it. I see a hair video in our future.
Excellent. Well, Alfredo, we have somebody amazing coming up in just a moment. So why don't you give us a nice introduction to this beautiful woman she's not only, she's beautiful on the outside, she's beautiful on the inside. Yes. She has so much peace and energy, great energy that surrounds her. And I can't wait to hear more. So tell us.
Our next guest, I actually met over a year and a half ago in Germany. We were there doing, it was when my artist side before I was head of Matrix Education Worldwide. And I was there for the brand doing, we get together and do, with all the countries come together, and Jenny was there. And we became fast friends really quickly. Like everything you just said, she's beautiful on the outside, but she's got such a good heart. on the inside. She was one of those people that we really instantly connected. And it's a friendship, I think, that we've continued on. I love watching her grow. I've been on different photo shoots and events with her. She's working in the salon right now, and I'm so excited what she's going to share with us today. Something really cool, and I think it's very relevant to the time. As far as treatments and things that you can do at home during this time. And I'm just so excited to have her with us today. The beautiful, amazing, very, very talented Jenny Ray Hair, everybody. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great.
I'm so happy. We're both so happy. I'm really, really good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I apologize in advance if we hear any ambulance outside because I live on a corner unit in New York and it's crazy busy here, so I apologize.
I was going to say also, now that I live in New York, you're a fellow New Yorker.
Yeah, you are a fellow New Yorker.
Yeah.
I've been a fellow New Yorker.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, Jenny, we're so excited to have you. I don't know if you were tuned in earlier, but I was saying I think you're coming from your kitchen, and the talent.
Yeah, I'm here in my kitchen.
The talent that's in that kitchen between you and your wife, I'm jealous of. And I might take you up when the lockdown's over and borrow her for some profiteroles and something else amazing that she's been making.
Maybe we need to have a group dinner. We all live in New York. We can have we
have a huge apartment. We have a huge dining table, so you guys are more than welcome to come anytime.
Amazing.
Well, Jenny, we're so excited for what you have to share with us today. We've all been talking right now, and our clients are home and, looking for ways to take care of their hair and, all over, like Sam mentioned it so eloquently in the live that he just does about, emotions are high. And at the end of the day, we just want to make our clients smile and make them feel beautiful. What is it that you have prepared for us today?
Do you want me to go right into it and show you what I got going on?
Yeah, let's get into it. And then at the end, I would love to talk to you a little bit about just you and the salon and where you're at right now with your client communications and what's going on. What are you doing to prepare for that? But let's, for now, get into the cooking session. I'm excited. I think your mute is on. There we go.
I think I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. Let me just put the sound up. Okay, I can hear you now. Everything good?
Yes.
Sheri, I can't see you for some reason.
I can see you, and we can see you on the. Is there a little circle with my picture in it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, drag it to like a corner, and it should open.
And we'll all pop up.
Yeah.
Drag it to a corner.
Like, so are you horizontal with your phone?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so there should be 4 squares. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you just move the circle into what could look like not on top of you or Alfredo, it should open up a square that I can.
It should be a little circle of Sheri's face.
Trying to open it, but it won't let me open it. It's so weird. Oh, well, I can hear your voice.
Okay, I'm here for you, and I can
That's fair enough.
Mine.
All right, can you guys see pretty much my little kitchen area right here?
Yep.
Yep,
Okay.
Sure can.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with a color mask, okay? And the reason why I'm going to start with a color mask is because I've actually had a lot of friends and clients of mine reach out to me and be like, hey, look, I'm home right now. I can't really run to the drugstore. I can't really order anything online right now because I don't want any deliveries coming to the house. Is there any recipes at home that I could just do with what I have in the kitchen? Ironically enough, there is a lot of recipes you could do, and I've actually come up with 3 of them. So I'm going to give you some options because a lot of times there are ingredients that a lot of people don't have in their kitchen. But these are pretty much like main things that a lot of people have, so I feel like it's pretty easy for everyone to kind of make this, right?
Love it.
Right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my
notes.
little dish here. And I already have everything kind of prepared on the side, just ready to go. And I'm actually gonna give you a little insight. So a lot of times people don't know this, but avocados are probably one of the best hair masks that you could use. It's the most hydrating. So if you're someone that has like very damaged hair, especially during this time, dealing with stress and things like that, like avocado is the way to go versus coconut oil. And the only reason why I say that, it's just because it's more nourishing than coconut oil when it comes to replenishing damaged hair, especially if you can't go get a haircut right now and you have like overprocessed hair and there's a lot of elements going on right now. This is your go-to right here. Not guacamole. Don't put guacamole on your head, please.
Tastes delicious though.
Yeah, it's delicious, but for eating, not for your hair. You have to go with a normal avocado, okay? And then my other thing is also like fresh lemon, a fresh squeezed lemon versus just like buying like regular lemon juice. And the only reason why I say a fresh lemon is just because you want the citrus and you want the vitamin C that's in it versus like the concentrated version that's in already like a squeezed lemon juice, okay? So let's go ahead with our color mask, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, so I have it already portioned out. So this is pretty much a portion for someone who has more or less like my kind of hair. I would say this is about like 2.5 tablespoons for anybody who wants to ask, because I have a feeling a lot of people will ask that. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in there. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and put organic honey. Okay, and we're gonna do 1 tablespoon.
So Jenny, I'm sorry, it's 2 tablespoons of what? What was
2.5 tablespoons of the coconut oil.
Ah, coconut oil. Okay.
Yeah, and then 1 tablespoon of organic raw honey. All right.
Yep.
And then we're gonna go ahead and add some apple cider vinegar. Do you know what the benefits are for apple cider vinegar?
I actually do a shot of apple cider vinegar every morning for health reasons.
Yeah, but there's many benefits to it versus just, digesting it.
Yeah.
It's actually great for your hair in the sense that it replenishes your hair, brightens your hair. So it's great for someone right now who's having issues with dullness in their hair and they want to bring back that brightness in their hair. They want to bring back that shine. That's what apple cider vinegar is great for.
I love it.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and mix it. A lot of times what I would suggest is maybe put it in the microwave for like 20 seconds. And the only reason why I say that is because, as you can see, coconut oil can sometimes be a little difficult to break down. And if you don't have one of these mixers right here that I have, obviously I have one for many reasons, because A, I'm a colorist, and B, my wife is a chef, so she has like 50 of these. If you don't have that, you can use a fork, okay? And what you want to do is you just want to mix it up really good. And sometimes what I would suggest, because people are dealing with a lot of stress right now, is if you have any essential oils, you could add like 5 drops of eucalyptus or lavender oil to it, just because those kind of oils bring a lot of relaxation. They open up your airways. They definitely promote a lot of things that we're missing right now, which is stress is the #1 thing that a lot of people are dealing with. So we want to bring that salon experience fully for you at home. So the best way to do that is an essential oil.
Nice.
I love lavender. Lavender is my favorite.
Yeah, I love lavender too, but I mean, it just depends. Like, I think eucalyptus is really good for people that have issues with dry scalp or something like that, just because it's another good benefit to have, especially if you have allergies to tea tree oil, which I would suggest before you apply any of this stuff, maybe do like a little skin test just to make sure you're ever going to have an allergic reaction to it.
Jenny, just as a reminder, we're getting a question here. What's the measurements again? So it's 2.5 tablespoons of the
coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
1 tablespoon of honey.
1 tablespoon of honey.
How much apple cider vinegar?
You want to do 1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon. Great.
Yeah. And so it should look something like this. Can you see it?
Yep.
Nice and creamy.
Yeah. So what I would suggest is, because sometimes the apple cider vinegar does kind of like separate from the coconut oil. Like I said, again, pop it in the microwave for like 10-15 seconds and you'll see that it'll completely like formulate in a liquid form, and then it'll harden back up together. and it's more easier to apply.
Love
Best
that.
way to apply this is on damp hair. So I would suggest you actually like shampoo your hair before and then apply this. The time is actually 20 minutes that you leave this on. And I would suggest to do this once a week. You good?
Yeah,
I'm
there's
great.
a question of will the honey make the hair sticky, or is
No,
it
not at all,
enough?
actually, because actually the honey formulates with the coconut oil. Everything kind of just like blends in together. So it's not like elements that are separated together. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because that's the issue that I feel like a lot of people will have is they feel like all the elements are separated, but that's not the case, especially if you melt it down.
Got it.
Okay.
And then for the avocado, there's avocado in this as well, right?
You could add avocado. I just made it with coconut oil, but I would suggest if it's someone that had, like this is for someone more fine to normal hair. And if you're someone who has normal to thick hair, like very coarse hair, and you have a lot of damage from heat or processed color, any of those elements that come into effect, then you want to do the avocado because the avocado has the most nourishment and it'll replenish your hair the best.
Would you do like a whole avocado or a half avocado if you were working
Half
with
avocado.
that hair type? Half. Awesome.
Yeah, a half goes a long way, believe it or not.
And could you use agave instead of honey?
You could, but I feel like agave doesn't have the same benefits that honey would give you. Because honey gives you more of a replenishment into your hair. It kind of like builds that strength back in your hair, which I had no idea about. It's something that I learned about a few months ago, the benefits of honey. Like, I thought it was just something you put in your tea. You know? Like,
it's in here right
exactly.
now.
I had no idea. I started researching it more, especially because my wife works with a lot of ingredients. And I just read, you know, with this time that I have at home, I'm trying to like utilize it in ways that it's not just about working on techniques with haircuts and color, but really just going outside the box and learning about what's in my kitchen and what are the elements that go behind it. And what does it do in return for people at home that don't have what a lot of us have? You know, a lot of us do have more products than normal. Let's be real. If I go into my bathroom right now, you'd be like, oh my God, do you have a whole salon? It's absurd. So for me, it's really just creating something for people that, you know, it's easy. It's easy for them to have, and it's not something that is hard for anybody to make at home, and it's going to give them the same benefits that they would have at the salon.
Yeah. Okay. A few more questions. Sorry. First, people are loving it. Gordon Ramsay needs to watch out. There's a question about just going back on the honey and the agave. Is there something else that you could use in replace of honey, specifically for those who are maybe vegan and don't purchase honey?
I'm actually not familiar with any vegan products that are versus honey. Do you have any recommendations? I mean, I'll take any recommendations really.
Yeah, I think I'd have to look into what the honey's doing and see how to handle that. Actually, what could be a replacement for food? A replacement of honey is agave.
What about olive oil? If you add a little bit of olive oil and green tea, because you still want to get those antioxidants,
nice.
Which is what exists in honey. Honey has antioxidant in it, and it also replenishes damaged hair. But then you could get that same effect with olive oil. So maybe doing a green tea and olive oil mixed together, that'll give you the same benefits.
Excellent. Very good. I thought coconut oil didn't absorb into the hair shaft.
No, it does actually, especially if you melt it down, and that's why I'm saying to apply this, the best way to do it is on damp hair, because if you do apply it on dry hair, it's just going to get clumpy and it's not going to evenly distribute. So you need that moisture in the hair to evenly distribute it, and you need the compound of heat to break it down and bring it together so it's easily to like massage into the scalp and to the hair.
Jenny, when you massage it into the scalp and apply, would you suggest combing it through before you process, or would you?
I could kind of show you. I have a mannequin head right here if you want to see.
Yes.
And just to because I think there was some confusion at first. You were just showing, meaning at the beginning you were showing all of the different ingredients in your kitchen that can be used for hair. Yes, which included the avocado, which included the lemon, etc. But for this particular mask, you're saying if it's for hair probably more like mine, you would use coconut oil. Hair like yours, you would use the avocado, mixing that with honey and the apple cider vinegar. And then we're going to later get to where you use a lemon. Is that right?
Actually, you could use a lemon in this too. It's a really good question. The reason why I would use lemon in this is actually to enhance my blonde. So a lot of times blondes, they have toners in their hair. You have to get it done every 6 to 8 weeks, right? That's literally my regimen. Exactly. So what I've been doing, I actually had a client text me yesterday and tell me, like, my toner is completely faded. My blonde is kind of going dull. What do? I told her to do this. And instead of doing it for 20 minutes, I told her to do it for 45 minutes. And the reason why I added 45 minutes to it is because I really wanted the lemon to absorb into the hair and give it that brightness back. So I asked her to send me a picture, which I'll be able to post it later. And I'll actually do it on my hair too, so you guys could see it as well. And basically, it really just brightened it up. Like, it was almost like she did a full toner on her hair, and it was just lemon that she used. It's not the same effect as a toner. Let me just be clear about that. But it definitely is a nice mix right now, especially during this time where we don't have the access to give toners out and do toners and explain to clients how to do them at home. This is a great alternative right now.
Excellent. Can you post the different...
Closes that cuticle up as well and brings that brightness in. So you have so many elements in just one mask that just bring back that brightness that is missing in color right now. Cool?
Yeah.
Ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
Yeah. All right, let me move this over real quick. My wife is going to kill me later, by the way.
Why?
Because I'm making a mess. This whole kitchen is like, I don't know if you could see it, but there's like a lot of recipes right here. There's a lot going on right now. All right, so now we're going to go to hair growth. And the reason why I decided to make a mask for hair growth is because I actually have a few friends right now that have messaged me and been like, I'm having a lot of issues with my hair falling out. And I think it has to do with stress. And it's happening to a lot of us. It's not just my clients, it's my friends. And people just don't know what to do. And realistically speaking, they can't afford, a lot of people are out of work right now, let's be real. A lot of people are laid off and they can't really afford to buy these like really expensive hair growth treatments and stuff like that. So they're looking for more of an organic, natural alternative, right? So I actually did a lot of research because I just wanted to see what I had in my kitchen and what was good and what wasn't good. And I came up with a really simple recipe, which I had no idea that this even came together, but it's actually cinnamon. Cinnamon actually like promotes hair growth. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah,
it makes me very excited.
Ordering some today.
Yeah. You definitely it needs to be cinnamon powder. Don't get, if you get the sticks, obviously you're just going to need something to like really grain it out. I don't know if anybody really wants to put that much work in. So just cinnamon powder. And basically what you want to use is half a tablespoon. Okay. And make sure that you measure it correctly. So, fun fact about cinnamon, which I guess if you really think about it, you know those lip plumping products?
Yeah.
It's cinnamon that's in there. Did you know that?
I did not.
I guess I did know
Did you?
that. Yeah.
But you don't think about it, right? You don't think about that there's the lip plumping products, it's cinnamon that's in it. And actually, when you think about what it does to your lips, it does the same thing to your scalp. It stimulates your scalp and makes it grow. So basically, all those follicles that you have going on in there, and those situations where you feel like it's just limp and you're losing hair and you really want to promote hair growth, cinnamon is your #1 ingredient that you want in there. So what you really want to add to it is either coconut oil or you could add avocado oil. Also depending on your scalp. So if you have a very dry scalp, you want more of the avocado oil. If you have more of a normal scalp, you want to use coconut oil. Okay?
Jenny, somebody's saying that they heard that coconut oil dries hair out. Is this not true? Now, I know earlier you said it, in fact, helps condition the hair, Can you just explain a little bit more on what you know about coconut oil?
I mean, for me personally, I've never had an issue with coconut oil. I think what it comes down to is you have to buy the organic virgin coconut oil. There are so many different forms of coconut oil. The best kind you need to get that won't dry your scalp out, you won't have any issues with your hair, is the cooking kind. So, I mean, I hate to put a brand out there, but just kind of like, I'll put my,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have that.
Yeah, so you want the Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, places like that, they have those. I'm actually going to stick this in the microwave if you don't mind real quick.
Not at all.
I'm
for
obsessed.
Everybody that is that's thinking about coconut oil, there's organic, of course, but then there's refined and unrefined, and you want to get the unrefined version.
You want the unrefined. That's the kind you want. So if you're going to buy any kind, especially if you don't want any dryness in your scalp, you don't want any issues like that, the kind you really want to get is the unrefined, because that's the most natural form of coconut oil. There's no processing to it, and actually the only way they process it is a cold process. So you're getting all the ingredients, you're getting all the natural things that you actually need from the coconut oil. Makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
It does.
So I melted it a little bit too much, but kind of shows you like what it'll look like. I probably shouldn't apply this because I'll probably burn my hand, but.
How long would you suggest letting it cool before you apply if you were doing this at home?
Letting it cool, like there's a lot of things you could do. You could put it in the freezer for like 5 minutes and it'll kind of compress again. Or you could just let it sit out if that's better for you. It all depends like how you're feeling about it. You don't want it to solidify too much. You want it to still be a little bit more liquefied versus a solid. And the only reason why I say that is because you're actually applying this on your scalp. You're not applying this on the rest of the hair. So and you really need to massage it onto the scalp, because the more you massage it, you're stimulating the cinnamon to actually do what it's supposed to do.
Excellent. I'm sorry, Jenny, can you just repeat the ratios one more time for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So the coconut oil is actually like pretty much the same kind of ratio, which is 2.5 tablespoons. And then the cinnamon is half a tablespoon.
Okay. Thank you.
Because you could really see like half a tablespoon like goes a long way.
Yeah, wow.
Like you don't really need more than that. And like I said, the best way to apply this is actually on a dry scalp. You don't want to have it on a wet scalp. And the only reason why I say that is because you really want to like get in there and really like stimulate the scalp when it's like completely at its natural form, not stripped from its natural oils or anything like that.
Excellent.
And time that you leave it on for, because it's very important. Yep. It's 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay. After I cut my hair using Sam's techniques, then I can use this to just grow it back. See, Jen?
Oh my God, please don't do that.
Yeah, I'm already like confession. I'm gonna definitely be mixing this and putting it on my own hair for sure. Yeah, I'm doing the second one.
I feel like it actually will work. You know, I feel like there's so many great elements to cinnamon that people don't know about. You know, people think it's just like a cooking ingredient, and when you really look at the benefits behind it, and this dates back to like, European. This goes back to European kind of thing. It really started out in Spain, from what I know. And it kind of just like derived from there. And that's how people started really getting into it more and more and realizing like, oh, there's more benefits to cinnamon than just cooking with it. So it's a great alternative if you can't afford, those hair growing pills right now.
And what would you use to shampoo afterwards?
Yeah, what would you shampoo it with after?
Actually, for me, I mean, I'm not just saying this because I work with Biolage, but I do use Biolage. I like to use the keratin dose because the keratin dose, I feel, for me, promotes hair growth as well and really does work in locking in moisture. And a lot of times you need to lock that moisture in, and it at the same time helps a lot with frizz and situations like that and breakage and kind of building the bonds back into the hair that you're missing.
Love it.
Nice.
All right, guys, you ready for my my last hurrah?
Yes.
We are ready.
So my last one is actually for dry scalp, and it's a rub. So the reason why I did that was because I personally suffer from a dry scalp, and I've suffered for a very long time from it. It is what it is. I think it's from living in New York. My scalp just started going dry because of the heat and the weather. I'm from Miami originally, if you can't tell from the way I'm dressed. I'm literally just used to being at the beach, having that humidity. So I never had an issue with a dry scalp until I moved to New York. So I tried a lot of different products, didn't really see the results I wanted from it. And I've actually been using this for a couple of years now. So it's kind of nice to like spread it back to you guys because it actually works really well for me. So I hope you like it.
Me too. There's a question on the chat, Jenny, about mint. Will mint, because I think this is great. You know, there's those of us that, you know, maybe have longer hair. There's some people with shorter hair. There's somebody on here that has more of a clean head, if you will. And I think your cinnamon, just to stimulate the scalp, is also really good scalp care, if you will. And if they have some dry scalp like you're speaking about right now, then, sorry, I have a dog who's in the dry scalp. They're asking about mint. Will mint help the scalp?
So actually peppermint. So if you have peppermint essential oils, it's actually better than spearmint.
Ah.
Yeah.
And then their next question is that, well, they would like to stop their bald head from shining. They don't want to look like Kojak.
Kojak. I'm not very familiar with personally with bald heads in terms of like when it comes to like shine. But if you want something to take away shine, I would say probably use green tea because it has more of a, I hate to say it, but more of a drying effect. So that's why you have to mix it with something else. And the best way to apply a green tea would be also with coconut oil because it's not as oily as avocado oil and it won't give it that like sheen on a bald head. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But again, excellent. I'm not an expert with bald heads, so don't take this as a grain of salt. Try it. Let me know. Leave me a comment.
All right. Paranormal Vision. We are hoping that you're going to try the coconut oil with some green tea and let us know how that works out.
Yes.
For you.
I'm actually doing it right now.
Excellent.
Yeah. So what we want to do first is let's put the coconut oil in first. It's the same amount again, which is about 2.5 tablespoons. I'm going to melt it down a little bit just so I can add the sugar to it and the green tea, okay?
Great.
So this is the green tea right here. And at your discretion, I've already made it. It's actually, I have like different forms of green tea, but I really like the lemon. I don't know if you can see it.
I can.
Yeah, I like the lemon and green tea. And the reason why is because I like the antioxidants as well that come from the lemon. So you're getting like the double antioxidants in there from the green tea and also from the lemon. So we're just going to put, I mean, at your discretion, you could do like a shot. You could do like 2 shots. You could do 3 shots, whatever mood you're in, you know. Just going to melt it down a little bit. And we wait.
So I think the biggest challenge that your wife might have, Jenny, is that you've used all of her coconut oil.
Yeah, she's, look how much is left. Do you see?
Yeah, make sure she knows so she can reorder.
Yeah, let's just keep quiet right now because she can't really hear us.
We'll keep it just between friends right now.
Yeah, let's just keep it here in this room, like all together. Let's be discreet about it, you know. So I'm just mixing it in, just kind of breaking down a little bit the coconut oil. So this is more of a liquid form, so definitely like you want to do this on your hair when it's damp in the shower. I would definitely not recommend you do this in your kitchen because you will have a hot mess. So please do this in the shower. And then afterwards, when you're done with this, when you're breaking it down, sorry, I have dogs too, so they just barked. I apologize. You hear her?
Yeah.
We love dogs here.
Yeah.
So
Sheri has a dog.
You want to do raw brown sugar, okay?
Okay.
Because the grains are a little bit softer, it's not going to be so harsh. Sometimes there's so many different forms of brown sugar. There's more like the chunkier, rockier ones. And for me, the brown sugar is the best, just because the grains are a little smaller, and you're still going to get that gentle scrub that you need on your scalp.
Mm.
So you want to do like about, I would say like 1.5 tablespoons, okay?
Okay.
And the best way to do this is you let it sit and you let it harden back up. Because when it's liquefied, how it is right now, it's not going to do anything. You're not going to get the scrub that you need from it. You need it more to be more of a solid, because you want it to kind of come out like a paste. So when it comes out as a paste, obviously you're going to get the benefits that you need from scrub, right? If it's liquefied, it's just going to run all over the place.
Right.
So once it goes, I would say like liquefied, let it sit out for at least like an hour. So definitely make this before you go into the shower and you're going to go do whatever you want. And as soon as it's already liquefied and you're ready to apply it, wash your hair first. Make sure your hair is clean, because you really need to just strip that oil out of your hair to make sure you're getting all that excess like dryness out of your scalp, okay? Then afterwards, you apply this on your scalp, and you want to make sure to really massage it, because that's the whole point of a scrub.
Yep.
Love it.
And so time-wise, I would say leave this on for like 15 to 20 minutes. Just depends how dry your scalp is. If it's really oily.
How often would you suggest for a client to do this that's maybe suffering from dry scalp? How often would you suggest that they do this in the shower?
I think it just depends how bad it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's different levels. I definitely have some guys that their scalp is, I could do this like twice in a week, and it still like has a little bit of dryness left to it. So it really is at your discretion. I would say, realistically speaking, like if you have very, very oily, dry scalp, do this like 3 times a week. Make sure you can make it like in a mason jar, like make it like a large amount of it. And then you just have it, you could scoop it up, kind of like how it is with the coconut oil. You could just reuse a bottle like this, put it back in there, let it solidify, and then you just kind of scrape it out and scrub your scalp with it. So it really just depends, honestly. Like for me, I do it twice a week. That's just because I like to wash my hair twice a week, but that's just me. So again, it just depends. And also another great benefit to add to it, which only use this after you do a skin test on it, because some people are allergic to it. You add 5 drops of tea tree oil to it. You know the benefits to tea tree oil, right?
Tell us.
So many.
Yeah.
So many. So it actually moisturizes your scalp, and there is a benefit to it, because there is an element to it that takes away the fungus that exists on your scalp. So it cleans it. It's like a clean slate. It's literally like a clean slate. So it's probably one of the best elements to add to this, like your finisher, just because it's really going to make the whole process work. And especially for someone who has like really, really dry scalp and they have a lot of flakes, you want to do this twice a week, and it's going to be like your head's going to be a completely different thing. No more dryness, no more flakiness. You can wear black clothes again, not feel weird about it.
So I don't know about everybody else. I know Sheri's obsessed. I'm obsessed. And definitely if you could like tomorrow or whenever you can put all of these up on your social for everybody, because I'm sure everybody's going to want like a recap so that we can all start like utilize. I know I'm going to utilize some of these, and I can already tell Sheri's like looking at the kitchen side-eye right now, like seeing if she's got some cinnamon over there. Do you have cinnamon in your kitchen right now, Sheri?
Oh, absolutely. There isn't anything that she has listed that I do not have. So.
I know. I think I have it all too.
Our friend Paranormal Vision, he can't get green tea right now, but he'd like your hat, Jenny, because that will solve his bald head problems temporarily. And he's going to tomorrow. He's going to do English tea with white sugar. It's the best he can do. Improvisation. I like it.
Yeah, you got to improvise, and definitely, like I would say, try to solidify it with the avocado. You can do it with avocado. You definitely need a solid to it. The one thing I recommend, regardless of any of these treatments that you do, which I'll be posting everything, full ingredients, time, if you wash your hair before, if you don't wash your hair, if it's supposed to be dry, and also like the measurements of everything of how much you're supposed to use. And for this, all the elements that I've used, you basically need your base. So for me, the base is either coconut oil or avocado. So you always need a base, because if you don't have a base, then you're just using a liquid with a solid, and then it just goes away, you know?
Exactly. Paul is going to, I'm not sure. He says wine with my hair treatment. I'm not sure if he means he's going to use wine on his hair treatment or if he's going to drink wine.
5 o'clock wine already.
Understood and totally acceptable.
Yes.
Paranormal Vision. I love all his interaction. Only has bananas. Will bananas work as the base?
Actually, yeah, bananas do work.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bananas
do work. Bananas have a vitamin to it that actually works just as well as an avocado or coconut oil.
Fantastic. Jenny, thank you so much for these amazing, innovative recipes on ways we can keep our scalp and our hair healthy during this lockdown time period. We look forward to going to your page in order to get all of those ingredients, as well as see you do some of this stuff on your own. And I'm looking forward to the cinnamon after I cut my hair. Sam VOA. No, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but that's at Jenny Ray Hair. Everyone, please go check her out and make sure that you're following her. She's got some amazing inspiration as it relates to how to take care of yourself and make yourself just feel like you're in your own little spa, right in your own world. Jenny, thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you, Jenny. We love you. That was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kisses. Bye, Jenny. That was so fun, Sheri.
That was good.
Okay.
I'm not sure where to start with all of that, but I think that such innovative ideas and ways to take care of ourselves. And I'm super excited.
I think I want a FaceTime date with you, and we can do the cinnamon treatment on our hair at the same time.
That sounds fun. I think we'll take Paul's idea of the wine as well. So
yeah.
Paranormal Vision, you're welcome for the stream. And we thank you so much. Everybody said thank you, Jenny. She's amazing. And we've got somebody else coming up. Let's no further ado. Why don't you tell us who our next guest is, Alfredo?
Oh my gosh, so I'm so excited about our next guest. I think it's no stranger, not a surprise to anyone that it's like one of my best friends in the industry. We're in quite a few hair videos together on my page and his page. And there's some interesting things I'd love to share about Philip that I don't know if people know. And I think it's a good example, kind of even relevant to the time. So I met Philip, I think 4 or 5 years ago. And at the time, Philip wasn't even really that into social media. I was just getting into it. For those, I don't want to embarrass him, but like he's done Kim Kardashian. He was very in the celebrity world. And we actually used to work on the same street as each other 25 years ago, but didn't know each other at all. Never saw each other. If we didn't, we weren't friends then. And we met through collaborating with other artists. And so when I look at Philip now, he and I, started working for Matrix. We've done education all over the world, in the US, of course, Spain. You were there, Sheri, last year. We were in Peru, Russia, Netherlands, India, which you were also at. It's just kind of crazy to think from meeting then what this man has done with his career. I mean, he has his own brushes and neck seals, and the following that he has and what he's created really shows that anything is possible. And to change, like what Sam talked about, talk about a reset. I've watched Philip Wolff, who's going to be our next guest, press that reset button, and what he's been able to do in the last few years is really inspiring and astounding. So I'm so excited. We are so excited to have Mr. Philip Wolff today, cutting hair live on R&B Education. Philip. Let's bring him on down.
Yeah, let's see if we can unmute Philip for a second. How do we do that? Philip, you're on mute, honey. Can you unmute yourself? There we go. Oh,
now you got to unmute yourself.
Is.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me?
There we go.
Hi, Philip.
Hi. Yay. Wow. What an amazing introduction. Thank you.
Well, Philip, I was going to say what's interesting is, when you first came in on mute, I was like, I know I say that you're a man of minimal words, but we do want to hear the words that you do have. So glad that we're able to have you today. And, Alfredo reminded me a few minutes ago about your neck seal. And I actually think that that is something super important. I'm hoping that you're going to talk about that today because, in this time where when we go back and we open our doors and everyone's going to be quite mindful of health and safety and the ways that we keep our environment disinfected, I'm sure this is something, I'm not going to say you all do it. I'm just going to say that I see it happening where a cape gets put on one client, taken off, shaken out, put on another client. If it's not wet or gross or has hair color on it, I have seen cutting capes go on multiple different clients. And I think that that's going to be something that we we shouldn't do moving forward. But there is this added layer in my mind, and you can tell us, of this safety, which is your neck seal. So do you mind telling us a little bit about it? I don't know much. I've seen it in videos.
Yeah, not at all. And as a matter of fact, it's funny you say that. Because I have a few right here.
Okay.
Multiple colors to choose from, as you can see. And, you get this cool little pouch if you buy a certain number of them here. Now, what this is actually it was originally designed so that, because how many people, especially all you short-haired people out there, getting a haircut and then the hairs get down your shirt and your neck and it's like, So this was invented here. It's made out of very, very high-grade silicone. And it's built in such a way that it can fit pretty much any neck. And yeah, that's exactly what it is. You put it gives a nice, comfortable seal around the neck. So, water, hair, any chemicals you use, color, whatever, even at the shampoo bowl, it's not going to run down. So especially for let's say a guy's, coming in for a fade, he's like, hey man, I got a date right after this. I don't have time to go home and shower. And I just can I do that? So this is perfect. You know what I'm saying? So if they want, they can just take the shirt off, put this on, put the cape, and then go put the shirt back on, and they are clean as can be, and they don't have to worry about that. So this has been definitely great for cutters as well as colorists, because let's face it, you get those people with the lower hairlines, you want to cover the grays or, get those extra highlights in there. So you don't have to worry about, messing up someone's shirt if they have dark hair or vice versa. Maybe you don't want to bleach the dark shirt that they have on. So that's been,
Trisha's asking, are they safe to be cleaned in barbicide?
Oh yes, no, absolutely. These are actually funny. That's a great question. These are barbicide certified. Actually, the CEO of Barbicide himself has absolutely loved these. And when you buy them, they come in this cool little box and everything. And just so you know, it is recommended to get. We do sell samples of 2, but it is recommended to get at least a 6-pack because, we don't have time, especially if you're busy, you don't have time to take it, rinse it, disinfect it, bring it back. You know what I mean? You want to have a good amount for the day and then clean them at the end.
Yep.
So yes, you can use barbicide. Actually, one of the great things that I've been doing is we have barbicide wipes as well.
Yep.
Those work very well. So it's just a great thing to have, reusable and very, very durable. And of course, you can see different colors too. So,
and Philip, how does one order those?
So how you order them is you go to thezuka.com, and just like that, then you can choose from there which ones you want, and they'll get shipped right to you.
Amazing. Shipping worldwide. Sorry, it's a little bit of an infomercial here, but I think I think everyone needs them.
It's like
absolutely. And there are some global shippings, and actually some countries have their own mini little distributors within there too. So so maybe there's some info about that on the website as well. But yes, for the most part, we do ship worldwide. There are a few countries where it is a little difficult to get it in there because of the fact of the VATs and the import taxes and stuff like that. So it's been a little difficult. But I'm sure if you just DM Zuka, it's called the Zuka Experience on Instagram, they'd be more than willing to work something out for you.
Excellent.
Amazing.
All right. So we will post that up a little bit later, but Zuka.com, find out where to get yours. Let's make sure that when we do reopen our doors, we are keeping the health and the safety of our clients in mind, and also coming to them with amazing techniques, which I think, Philip, you're going to bring us into that now as well.
Absolutely. You know what? I did a story last night and it said, hey,
yes,
you know, I'm going to go live. What would you like to see? Now, I wasn't thinking because now I had so many answers of so many different things. So what I've decided to do today is instead of doing a haircut, I'm going to do just a bunch of different techniques. And then you, as the stylist, can pick and choose what you'd like to put into your work. You know what I mean? If you like that. So I have a few things to show everywhere. Listen, I went to the vault and I broke out some old mannequins that I found, as well as I have a really brand new one. Thank you, Alfredo, for doing that. So I have a variety of techniques to show. There was requests, everything from, you know, scissor over comb to longer pixies to you know, lob, bobs, and shags. Shags actually was the #1. So I'm going to show you, and texturizing techniques. So I'm going to show a few of those. And are we ready now, or?
We are ready. There has been several requests, Philip, even from the beginning of our live, our event, if you will, and that is that people need a lefty shear from you. I am the messenger. They need a lefty shear.
Yes. Actually, it's I am working on that right now. Obviously not right this second, but I mean, it has been in the works actually about a month before this whole thing started. So it is in the works, and we will be getting that worked.
Is the lefty wolf shear in the works?
The lefty wolf shear is in the works. Oh yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, so first of all, we're gonna go. I have Ellie here, and by the way, we're in the corner of my guest bathroom, so here we go. All right, so let me lift this up. So what I've done here is I've pre-cut a length, but here's the thing. This is the one thing that can work with lots of texture. I feel like when it comes to fashion and looks, it tends to go with the times. Do you not agree? So meaning, you know, whether the lifestyle has based on economic, based on just what's going on around in pop culture. And especially nowadays, you know, with this whole thing, we're isolated. I feel like highly textured and not so perfectly print hair is what it's all about. It's more like second day look, maybe even third day, very separated, almost on the side of a little grungier, but still sexy. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So instead of super blunt, which could be a thing, there's more texture on the inside. And maybe if it's very highly textured on the outside, then cleaner on the inside. So it's kind of a mix, you know? So what I've done here is I just, as we all know, when we get, you know, mannequins like this, it's horrible on the end. So I just got rid of that. Now, one thing, whether you cut it blunt or not, let's see how close okay. So, by the way, is there a way to make this a little bigger on the screen? Because my screen's like, I just want to make sure the viewers can see really well. How do I do that?
So we're monitoring the other screen, so we can actually see you perfectly.
Oh, okay.
I know.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Here we go. So one move I like to do is, let me just section up. What I'm doing now is I'm sectioning the back. So as we know, when we cut the back into a new length, it tends to get very bulky, you know? So if we want to show a little softness on the ends, just so you know, when I did this, I did point cut, but that only does so much, as we know. So now I go in, and by the way, on dry hair is totally fine, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I will comb it down the same way, and actually I'll do this. I like to use the fine side, and I will flip it like so, and leave a lot more extra length hanging out. And by doing this, I can go parallel with the hair and go deep point cut more. So like this. By doing that, it helps break up that line, because you've already set kind of an outer line. Now we're going to break into it a little more. And then you can see a lot more separation there without, you know, destroying the outer shape, if you will. And this really helps give a separated look there. So I'm just going to go around like so and add more. Can you see that? So, and the important thing is, see, I'm just turning my left hand so I can make sure that my shears are parallel, because if I go too angled, you'll cut out giant chunks, and that's not what we're looking for. Okay, so one more here. There we go. So now, let me see. So now you can see the ends are a little more broken up. All right. So that is one move that I like to do. And you can do that over and over until you're happy with it. You know what I mean? And another thing I like to do is, if you do from the occipital down, and then you actually cut that length, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch shorter, and then you let this hang over even a little bit, that adds even more, which is great. And that's just naturally without even extra point cuts. So that's a good thing to do there. Okay, I'm also going to go over shag layering, okay? So let's say you have this. Let me lower this mannequin here. Oh, here we go. All right, very good. So now I'm a right-handed cutter, so I am going to stand on the right side, because the idea here is you want to find that, and no pun intended, the pivot point, okay? So I'm going to use the high point of the head. So you want to make sure the client's head is upright, and maybe you're not sure where is that high point. Well, you can just lay a comb there, and wherever you see that balance, oop, there it is, right? So here we go. And I will comb this. I'll do about a 1/2 inch subsection. A profile section, that is. Okay, here we go. Now, this is all about finding out the proportions of the layering to the length. So as we can see, this is the length. We want it shaggy. So in my mind, when I hear the word shaggy, obviously it's a lot of texture, almost a little messy, with a lot of layers. You know, you rarely see a one length shag. You know what I mean? So from here, you probably want to do a little more layering than you normally would. So what I like to do is grab the bottom length here, see where that swings up. Okay, so that swings up to here. So I've got quite a lot of room to work with here. And what I like to do is still work slightly concave, okay? Because if I go too round, it's going to give this and then kind of kick out. If I go super square, it'll really do that, you know? So we're not looking for it to do this. We just want it to lay nice and smooth, but with a lot of movement, okay? Now, let me explain something here. Concave layers, that's what it is. It's short to long. And the more we exaggerate that move, that means we have more weight on the bottom, okay? So I'm going to show you how to eliminate that as well. But let's start by layering. I know this is a lot, but here we go. So I'm going to start by creating a guide. Now, here we go. You want to go about 90 from the round of the head, which is here, okay? So here we go, up. And then now my elbows, I'm going to go parallel to the ground. And this is what I like to do here. You can either scoop out. So I'm going to do like this, scoop out like that. And it gives a soft almost U shape in a way. Okay, I'm like gliding the shears across. So I do have a strong line, but because I carved it and pushed the hair almost a little, it's a soft line. Hard line, but a soft line. I know that sounds weird, but that's how it is. So here we go. When I let that go, you can see that it's short here, long there, but when I comb it down, you don't see where those layers start or end unless you shake it out. And then you see there's movement. And then you can see on the side, you get some volume and movement. So let me just pivot point off there and follow through. Now, this is just creating the outside. So from here, I like to also just point cut with it too. Also, I'm going to refer to some of my videos because a lot of people ask me this. They say, sometimes you point cut, sometimes you slice. Why? Why do you do that? Well, I'll tell you why. If I feel like there's a short enough hair where I can get the point cut right, I will do that. But let's say the hair's so long, it starts to flop over. And I know a lot of people get that, you know, it flops over and it's all weird. Well, it's hard to get a nice angle with the point cut. So instead of doing that, I like to, here we go, let's get the distribution perfect and then drop it down a little. Then I slice. So from here, you know, there's my guide. I will take the bottom blade, rest it on there, and slice through. When I do that, I actually am closing the shears, you see? So I create this just to get rid of all that length. Now, you're going to see a lot of leftover pieces. That's fine because now it's short enough to get a precise point cut, see? So in my videos, you'll see me, if it's really long, I'll go slice, 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 and then point cut. So now I have a nice clean shape with the point cut. And then sometimes you might see me do, and you know, you might have heard me say this a lot, but the double lift. The double lift means I do the first lift to create the shape, and I do the second or the double lift for texture. Because now you see only the ends are softly texturized, but this is very thick. When you can't see through the ends, that's when you know it's heavy. So you want to go through and texturize like so. Until you can see it, it's a little more see-through. Now, the important thing is keeping your blades as parallel as possible because you don't want to ruin this outside shape. So therefore, keeping it as parallel as possible is key. Short hair or long hair. So there we go. And look, I'll show you close up again. You don't really see, it's fairly seamless until you do this. See? So you can go pretty short with this and it's not a problem. So here we go. Let me just quickly do this other side too. Are there any other questions?
No questions right now from the chat, but I do have a question on that's come up on my feed before, which is about point cutting, because I think what can happen, and you can maybe give some hot tips on how to avoid this, is if you bring up the hair and you're point cutting and then you keep bringing up different sections that include a previous section and point cut, what can happen is you end up back with a blunt line again. So how do you help people avoid blunt cutting or point cutting so much that it goes back to just a blunt straight line?
Okay, now let's see, point cutting so much that it's a blunt line. Okay. My thing is you want to make sure you leave out a good amount of hair here, see? Because if you don't leave enough and you start to point, I'm just gonna mess this one up a little bit. Hold on. So if I point cut so small that it goes like this, then you see that line kind of becomes pretty strong and blunt.
Yeah.
The idea here is you want to leave enough hair out so that when you do point cut, you see a top layer and a bottom layer. So by going as parallel as possible, you want to see this almost, right?
Yeah.
You know, because that way you're still following, see this outer shape there? And then the lower shape. But you can only achieve that by leaving enough hair out. If I'm all the way up to my fingers, that's just gonna that's going to leave it too blunt. So that's why I do what's called the double lift. So once I do that, if it does happen to be a little too, you know, blunt, then I'll lift it again and not cut any length this time, just bulk. That's a good move for me. I like it.
A couple questions have come in for some commentary. Sam did some sort of interior layering-ish as well, and they love the fact that to see the different types, and that goes to show that as artists we have our own swag, and we can implement so long as we understand the why. That's right, Beth. We need to understand the why. Danny would like to know, how do you section for this type of finishing, for this type of technique? It looks like pretty full sections.
Yes, this is fairly basic. So what I like to do is, like I said, high point down to the ears, separating back from front. And all I'm doing is doing a profile section about ½ inch or so, and then I just pie shape off of that. Now here's the extra thing, because remember, I mentioned that when doing concave or severe concave, it's great to create this internal texture and actually layering and movement, because it's great for fine hair because it leaves the bottom heavy. But here's the thing, if your hair is already too heavy to begin with, that can create a problem, because then it's too bulky back there. So this is what I like to do, because at the end of the day, lean and mean, that's what it's about when it comes to textured haircuts, you know? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to break it in half. Excuse my back real quick. And then I'm going to, at the round of the head or maybe below, you want to be the judge depending on the thickness of the hair, okay? Because if the hair is thicker, you can go higher. If it's a little thinner, you can go lower. That is totally your call, okay? But I'm going to do it quite severe just to show you. So I'm going to go right at the base of the crown or the round of the head and create a section here. And like I said, it's totally fine to do this on dry hair, because you can actually see what the heck is going on and you don't have to like re-dry it or anything. Okay, so here we go. Oops.
Is there ever a time, Philip, that you would do a cut like this on wet hair, or would you say mostly dry?
I mean, I like it dry, but I mean, I've done it wet too. I think it just depends on, you know how we do. Yeah. Whatever the situation is, you got to just roll with it, you know?
Yeah.
But I would say if you have the type of hair, if you're working with the type of hair texture that you feel you can control dry, cut it dry. If you feel like it's a little too crazy, then just do it wet. Because at the end of the day, wet hair gives you a better control. Okay. So, I mean, you know, you could probably do it a little cleaner than that, but this is just for the demo purposes, okay? All right, so here we go. Watch this. I'm gonna actually lower because, okay, so you can see the length here, but that's not what we're gonna concentrate on. Let's look at the side view. If you see the side view, this is what gets bulky. So we wanna lean this out, but seamlessly. How do we do that? Let's go ear to ear again. And here we go. Now, I want to stand in front of the client at this point. Okay?
This is my favorite.
Oh, yeah, I love doing this. So you want to stand in front of the client, maybe to the side. Now, here's the thing. You want to act like you're almost holding a ponytail. So you're going to comb all the hair right to the middle of your section here, right to the scalp, too. You want to hold it at the scalp. So let's do this. And comb it all and really push it towards the middle so you have almost a ponytail. Now, here's the deal. See that? Now I'm holding it right at the scalp. See that? Mm-hmm. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my whole body like so. See this? And now I have that. So now it's like a French twist right here. You see it? And then from here, I have hair sticking out. Now, I can choose. Let's go hardcore and cut it right there. Or I can use my comb and lift up a little bit so it's not too crazy. So I have all this weight right here. This is a twist version of block graduation. And all we're doing really essentially is over-directing both sides. Now, you can point cut or go straight across. I'm just going to point cut. Here we go. All right, so just point cut that all out. Okay. So now I'm going to let it go. Oh, wait a minute. See? And then here we go. So you're going to drop it, comb it down. And now look, no choppy lines or anything, but the bottom is nice and it's much more see-through and textury. So if you let go of this, look at this. Ooh. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Love it.
You see, this is fairly short, and that doesn't have to connect with these layers up top, so don't worry about that. This would be a disconnected haircut. Now, let me show you again from the side view. When I comb that down, look at how all that empty space, this would be full of weight, but it's now gone. It's more head shape. You see it? Okay.
Nice.
So now watch this. Once I drop these layers, now everything, like if I comb it, it's smooth. But then if I shake it about, there's lots of separation, lots of stuff going on in there. And imagine you put a wand on it, or you know, wave it, or, you know, even if you flat iron it, either way, you're going to get a lot of texture through there. So let me just show you real quickly how the bottom and the top layers, they don't match. That's okay. Don't freak out because of the fact that we went concave here and we went block graduation here. Everything is going to lay beautifully and smooth. Now, if you find that there's a little bit of weight line here and there, that's fine. Just pick this up and go through and texture as needed. But I think this is great. And then like you would just follow this same pattern towards the front, and boom, you've got that going.
Nice.
So this would be a good way to do the shag.
Yeah, and it's a good way, mentions here, Philip, it's a fast technique when everybody gets back to the salon. There is a question about, does it matter which direction you twist the hair?
That's a great question. And the answer is yes. I mean, well, yes and no. And what I mean by that is on a technical level, I know, this is, Philip, it's so confusing. Okay, so what it is yes, it matters depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. So if you're right-handed, you definitely want to twist towards your right, because there's no way to do it the other way. It's going to be all awkward and weird. But on a technical aspect, like what side is underneath and over, will it change the haircut? No, because if you're doing it even, you're good to go. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. The one thing I'd say to make sure is when you are lifting it, make sure head positioning, because, you know, clients tend to, you know, move all around. So if their head is forward and you do it straight up, technically you're doing that, and that's not going to work. That's going to leave a weight line. So you definitely want to make sure head positioning, if anything, is correct. So
what would the correct head positioning be? Like slightly?
No, the head position would be just normal. You just want to have them just totally up here, because you want to elevate the hair up.
And would you use this on curly hair?
Oh, why not? I mean, I've done it. Now, the only difference with curly hair would be through the texturizing. And you know what? I can get into that right now. So also in my videos, what you're going to notice, and let's get rid of this, is, you know, we all know this move. You take the hair out, you grab it, you elevate it, you texture the ends. Fine, we know that. But now what I like to do is the opposite. I like to take the hair, and now instead of elevating it the same way we cut the shape, actually let me lower this a little bit so it can fit better on this one. There we go. Okay. What you want to do here, or what I do, is I like to now elevate it the opposite way. Now there's two ways. I can use regular shear, and I can just carve out little, you know, C curvatures here, little moon shapes. And because I'm over directing so much, when it falls, it'll be very soft. Now, obviously there's the controversy. Some people are very purist. They only want to use shears. Fair enough. Respect. That's the way you want it. That's the way to do it. Let's do it. Let's grab it here. And again, carve that out. Boom. Okay. And that works very beautifully. But if you're one that's like, you know what, I'm willing to try some stuff out, and I've had these texture shears in my kit for like 2 years and haven't even used them. Well, it's time to break those bad boys out. And here, and it's the same thing, but the only difference is I'm actually going to progressively move through. So actually what I can do is use the guide from underneath as a starting point, because remember, it's disconnected, and, you know, cut out. And when I say progressive, meaning start from one point and progressively move out. Boom. So this is actually, let me show you something here. These two are two totally different shears. This one only cuts 20% per snip. This one cuts about 40 to 45. Totally different. So don't treat them the same, because you're going to cut a heck of a lot more in one snip, double as in fact, than this one. So I prefer this because this gives you more leeway and you can have more fun without worrying about leaving her with 2 strands of hair.
Mm-hmm. So you rarely use the one with the more teeth?
All right. Well, the ones with more teeth, I mean, unless you get that client with just that ridiculous, then I'll break those bad boys out. Otherwise, I don't use them too much. But they do serve a purpose. Now, I remember somebody did ask about those ones that have like 4 teeth.
Yes.
You know, they look like big old chunks. Now, I wish I could answer that, but honestly, I don't have a lot of experience with those because I feel, well, I just have never had any. But you could probably notch cut and get a similar effect. Not exactly the same, but similar. So let's get back, though, before I forget, to the curly hair thing, because that's great for straight hair or straight finishes. But if someone prefers to wear their hair curly or they like to wear both, then at this point, instead of going, what is this, vertical, I'm going to go horizontal. And instead of, okay, let's get rid of this. Instead of, wait, can you see that? Okay. So instead of, you know, using texture shear and just doing this, what I'm going to do here is a move that, let me do a little lower too, so. Okay, well, that's as low as it goes. So we're just going to make do. All right. So you want to make sure your section is about as even as you can. Here we go. So check this out. Notice I'm pulling towards the front of the face, the client, see? And let's get rid of that. What I'm going to do here is, again, progressive cutting. So I want to start here about halfway through, and I'm going to hold the hair like this with my comb. You see it? And then what I'm going to do is progressively move up. So I'm going to progressively move up like that until I run out of hair. Does that make sense? So that's what I'm going to do as I am brick cutting. So point cutting would be parallel to the hair. Brick cutting is going to be perpendicular to the hair. So this is what I'm going to do here. And this is why I use the comb, so that I can actually see what I'm cutting here. So here, and you notch out, and I'm going, it's almost like a typewriter, because I'm going to go across one way, lift up, go another way, lift up, another way, lift up, another way. So you just keep doing that, and then, you know, so you get more chunks coming out. With curly hair, this is great because you're not going to get that frayed Brillo pad effect. It'll be really separated, but the curls will stay in their chunks, because as we know, curly hair always looks better when it's like in clumps like that. So that's one good way that I like to do with curly hair, is that the brick cutting and progressively moving out. And normally, just to answer, I do that between the middle third. You don't really want to do too much on the ends and too much on the base. It's all in the middle third, because that's where the bulk is. And by nature, the ends will just naturally separate anyways. So there we have that.
Nice.
Yeah. And I got another one, folks. Oh yeah, there's more where that came from. All right.
More.
While you're getting set up, Philip, there's a lot of chatter on the chat about your hair.
Oh, okay.
So first, you look like Jack Sparrow. Which, any sort of correlation to the Johnny Depp is good in my mind.
It's a positive, I think.
Yeah, no, it's quite flattering. Yes.
And then it's so long, and do you do your own hair?
So yes, I do my own, and yes, this is all my own hair, no extensions, no nothing. And yes, I did it myself, and it took many years. As a matter of fact, in beginning of April was my 7th dreadiversary. 7th year.
So great. When I first FaceTimed Philip when we were in quarantine, I'm like, your dreads have gotten so long. That's like the first thing I said to him. I'm like, you're going to walk out and they're going to be all the way to your feet.
I know. Right? Honestly, having dreads is probably one of the best hairdos during a quarantine because I don't have to do anything. So here we go. I'm going to go with, and you know what? I had to practice positioning to figure out what's the best way to get this shown on camera. But here we go. This is my best thing that I could think of version. Okay, so scissor over comb, because, you know, let's face it, it's a good technique to know. And for all of you fans of the longer shears, this is perfect. And as a matter of fact, just so you know, Wolff shear does come in 7s. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to start at the base here. And you see this long hair here? So the key to scissor over comb for me is you want to follow the shear. So from this angle, here's the scalp. You don't want to have the comb angled in like that. And you also don't want to scoop it too far out because then you're going to be like that and it's hard to. So almost just straight up and down with a slight, maybe a slight curve outwards is all you really need. And you're going to notice, you see, I believe Sam Villa called it the spine of the comb. I like that. So the spine of the comb, you're going to see hair coming out through the teeth. And that's the line you want to follow. So from the side, it would look like this. And you're going to create a guide. Let's say I create this guide here. Okay. And notice I didn't even move. But what I want to do is, see there's that line there. Now from that line, as I move up, we're just going to move the bottom, or the top blade only. So this is where practicing your scissor movement is key. Okay. So actually what I do, since, and I, you know, look, I'm not one, oh, where's the camera? Okay. I'm not one that sticks my thumb way in the shear like that. You know what I mean? I just don't do it. I'm like, it's barely in there. You see that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it just gives me more movement. Now, instead of, what I also do is I push the shear farther in to my index finger. So therefore I have more of an angle, and ergonomically, it's just easier for me to do instead of like that. I don't know. That's just awkward for me. So anyways, back to this. Now that I have my guide, I'm going to go upwards and follow. And just all I'm doing is following that line like that. So slowly move up and follow that line, and the bottom of your shears, or the bottom blade, should follow that line, and then the top will naturally cut it.
So the bottom blade sort of is a partner, like sticking on the spine of the comb.
Yes, exactly. And you will see, carving around the ear now, but then you will see that it will be much smoother of a finish. Mm. So that way you can knock out that weight line at the round of the head, but you still keep a square, you know, shape. So, see? Nice. I mean, actually, I don't know how well the camera's picking that up, but
I'm wondering if you can, go to the side and show us from the side view.
Yeah. There you go. See?
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. So then all you do is you can either use shears or, again, your trimmers to clean around the hairline there. And that's pretty much it. So see, if you look at it, see, it's good to see it from the front view too, or that's why mirrors are so important. But you just look and see how square it is. You don't want to go too far in, but then you don't want to leave it too V'd out either. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things. But this is a great way to sort of add some shortness to the hair without going like skin tight, because some people don't want that. They just want to have a little something,
Yeah.
Which leads me into the longer pixie. Okay. So the cool thing about this is, Alfredo, is we have a little fringe here, which is nice to work with when it comes to pixies, because you can use this, like, especially with someone who's going from long to short hair. They're ready to get that pixie, but the problem is going all the way maybe a little bit too drastic for them. So something about keeping some feminine swoopiness in the front is all the difference. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yep.
And then also, and it's actually cool, we have a bit of a side shave, scissor over comb look on the one side. Why not, right? But sometimes they don't want to do a super short pixie. They still want some movement and maybe a little length. So what's a good way to do that? It's all about head shape, okay? And hair texture. So I'm just going to lightly wet this down a little bit. Are we good on questions so far? Am I good on time? I don't even know.
You're doing great on time and great on questions. I'm feeding them to you as they're coming through. You've got a lot of hands clapping, really people loving what you're doing.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So from here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to divide the round of the head up first. So let me just get that out of the way. Okay, because that, we want a section here and make this easy on ourselves. So one side here, and then the other side there. And that's another thing too, is sectioning, that's key. Here's one thing I like to do. You see this? Obviously, we know there's two sides of the comb. For sectioning, I like to use the wide tooth side, and I like to use a guide finger here, whether that's a thumb, index, middle, and that just helps push this top tooth. Because just doing it on your own, I suppose you could get a good thing on your own, but something about helping guide it along the way, for me, especially when creating curves, but anyways, even straight, there's something, oof, look at that. It's just cleaner, And
your sections are like the cleanest sections I've seen. Always when people videos and stuff, the way you get those sections. So I've never knew how you did it, because I'm not as much of a cutter. So you use either a thumb or index finger?
Yeah, thumb. So if I'm going towards me, I'll use a middle finger or index, and I'll do like that. See? Or actually, I'll do it lower. See that? So you get a nice clean section. But if I'm going away, I'll push with my thumb. So I'll go like this. Boop. Like that, see?
Yeah.
Love, really good. Boop. I see you're doing those video noises. Did we lose Philip? Did he freeze?
Possibly. Yep, I think that we've gone... Philip's gone frozen. So while we are trying to unfreeze Philip, I think we've got some really great things that everybody's learning here.
So good.
People had half pixie, half long. Noah's saying that it was too many boops, and that's what happened. He got frozen because of too many boops. I love, obviously, just to revisit in case anybody's just joined us, Zuka, that's Zuka.com, Zuka.com is the neck seal that Philip and his company make, and it's meant to do several different things. One is to keep the tiny hairs when you're cutting shorter hairstyles out of or off of they're so pokey, right? Like even when I cut short hair, I notice if I don't wear an apron, I end up getting all these pokey hairs, so it keeps that from happening. It also allows there not to be any sort of water, color, anything
chemicals,
that goes down the neck.
Moisture of any kind.
And most importantly, right now, it allows us to keep the cape off of the neck and is barbicide certified. And you can use barbicide wipes to clean it off.
You know, Sheri, I'm so happy that you asked him about this when we first started the Philip segment, because, you know, I think going back, when we go back to work, any precautions or new things that we can introduce to our clients to show that we're, you know, taking sanitation in this new normal and just making sure that we're being extra, you know, just giving the best customer service experience. Like, products like this are going to be so valuable. Not that they weren't already, but just something really good. So I'm excited that people were able to hear more about it today, and that it's barbicide certified, and you know, just possibly using, if not this, whatever it is, to make sure that we're doing proper sanitation when we go back to work.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan. I don't have them yet, but I'm going to get myself some, and
I'll give you some. I have them, and it's amazing. Like, no hair gets on the clients. Me being a colorist, you know, at the back bar, even during the shampoo, rinsing. When you take it off the clients completely, the cape's completely clean and sanitized. The client doesn't have to worry about getting, you know, color on their clothing. I mean, there's so many different uses for it. Oh,
nice. I think we've got Philip back, which makes me very happy. So, Philip, we have you back. And he's working out the sound, I think, and the camera. So we've got some comments here. Danny says that Zuka takes your service to a higher level. I love that.
It does.
And then with the haircuts, just some commentary that, you know, now's the time to be able to have, again, those FaceTime consultations with your clients, so that you can find out what their hair goals are. If somebody's growing, maybe it's time that they grow their hair, right? But you've got these techniques that Philip and earlier Sam shared on how to cut long hair so that it has movement while still maintaining its length. And then, of course, how do you keep it styled with the braids?
Not to call you out, Sheri, but you gave a FaceTime consultation over the weekend and helped a gentleman that is one of our amazing education team members, Conrad, give himself a haircut, and he looked fabulous this morning. So
thank you. Interestingly, Conrad's not a hairdresser, right? So he was like my own little client, whereby he sent me a picture via text of clippers and guards and said, "Can I use this to cut my hair?" And I was like, "Yes." Here's how you're going to approach it. So we just talked about how to approach it, and I'm glad that it worked out for him. He did look pretty good. I mean, at the end of the day, I think he'll still want to probably, you know, see me or you or somebody from a
of course, from a
more
you walk
next time. But Conrad then his hair, he cut his own hair, and now he's so excited about it that he wants to learn how to cut men's hair. So maybe, you know, simultaneously, maybe we are bringing new people into this beautiful industry, which makes me happy. Philip, we see you on the camera.
Hi,
here.
Philip.
I don't think we hear you, so if you could just make sure that you're not muted.
Philip,
Philip,
I can see you. Can you unmute?
Okay, there's the head, our half pixie, half, and on the screen for YouTube, I see all of Philip, but I do not hear Philip. So, I think if what we could do is, hit
off your mute. I can see you. The microphone button. Hit the microphone button and unmute yourself.
So guys, just if you're watching, what happens is we've got we call it the green room, which is this other area that's the holding area for ourselves as well as the artists. And Philip is in the green room. His camera's working, but what we don't have is audio with Philip right now. So while yeah, Philip's mic is not working, Danny. It's probably, we needed to change the battery pack. It happens even in real life events, so I'm not going to sweat it too much. I'm definitely not going to sweat it. That button isn't working. I know, right? Sometimes the button, he's given a thumbs down. So, Philip, can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
Okay, can you hear us?
Can hear us. So we'll await Philip. Hopefully his audio will work in the next 30 minutes or so. If it does not, what we're going to ask is we're going to ask Philip to finish his haircut via video, and then he can post it later, so at least we can get a finished haircut.
Absolutely. And luckily we had, I mean, God, I don't even know how many techniques he showed us today, which is pretty amazing until we got to the pixie. You know, right? Brick cutting. You know, he showed us the French twist and how to slice the hair, point cutting. I mean, as a hair colorist, I learned so much today from everybody so far, from Sam to Jenny to Philip. But luckily, we've seen a lot of Philip today, so we were definitely able to get a lot of different things.
And we've got Philip.
Can you hear me?
Yay!
You can hear me?
Yay!
And you know what? Philip back in.
What's so cool about this is, you know, we're being so guerrilla with this, but it's so awesome. I don't know. I moved today. I don't know about you guys, but just that we're giving education in this way is super cool. So, are you there, Philip?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Let's get into it.
All right. So here we go. So I'm going to start with a center profile section. Okay. Now, instead of following the head shape, you know, like a normal pixie, I'm actually going to go where I leave a little bit of a length in the back, you know, not mullety, but, you know, kind of. So, like I said here, instead of just following head shape like this, I'm going to go more with a square approach. So I'm going to go here. Is an anchor point, you see?
Okay, so Philip, you keep freezing on us.
Okay.
He's good right now. All
yeah,
right.
you're good right now.
You're good now. And now not. Okay, so why don't we do this, Alfredo? Why don't we, if we can get communication over to Philip, let's have Philip finish his technique and post it for us later. We'll put it up here on R&B Education, and he can post it on his Instagram as well. Beth did send over a really cute thing that says when the audio's not working, but the video is, we should just play music, which I've got an entire setup to do so.
Oh my God, so true.
Next time, I'll keep that in mind for the next time. But in the meantime, Alfredo, you were saying how much you had learned as a colorist, and I think, you know, what that reminds me is something that Sam said at the beginning, and really what you said as it relates to what R&B is, and that is that we're bringing you education from various different people all over the world, represented by different brands, and the entire intention is to help you to really come out of this quite strong, right? When we come out of this lockdown, if you will, come out swinging and being able to service our clients in a much more effective and efficient way. Those words were a little difficult for me for just a second. So, Alfredo, I know that you're not going back to the salon, but if you were, what would be some things that you would do as it relates to servicing your clients in a different way? Like what would you do differently if you were sort of reinventing yourself going back to the salon?
Absolutely. What's funny, Sheri, is even though, you know, now I'm obviously head of education for Matrix, you know, worldwide. So as you know, but my time to do clients is changing. I still will be doing models and certain clients, but I've been having my clients, being that I had just moved to New York before this happened. So they've been reaching out to me, and I've wanted to service them still and be there for them. A lot of them hadn't had time yet to get a new colorist or stylist, or maybe I had referred, but they haven't actually had that first appointment. It was so literally weeks after I left. So I've been doing FaceTime consultations with them, even though I'm in a different city. Some of these people have been my clients for 10, 15 years. And I want to make sure that they feel, okay. So I've been walking them through things that they can do at home, products. If I was going back to the salon after this, to me, number one, we say it all the time, it's communication is key. Everything from if you're doing a FaceTime consultation to walk them through whatever it is they're going through. Keeping in touch with them, I think for everybody it may be different, whether you're checking in with everybody through email, telephone, text message, DM. There's so many different ways we can communicate, but deciding for yourself, what are those touch points you want to have? I recommend every few weeks staying in touch with your clients as things are being updated, letting them know that you're aware of what's going on. If the dates to go back to work keep getting pushed back, just having those conversations. I believe really strongly about wait lists, starting to create a wait list with your clients for when you go back. The first people on the wait list will be the first to be taken care of after the ones who were already scheduled that you may have had to reschedule, of course. And just really taking all those precautions. I think also if you're a salon owner, staying in contact with your team, having a meeting when it is time to go back to work, start thinking about that. What are the new things you're going to implement in your salon? Getting the team together, staying connected with them as well. So really, to me, everything is different kinds of communication for me all the way until we go back to work.
Excellent. So just because I think that was an interesting little twist, which I hadn't heard exactly put in this way, which is that first you want to put in, you're obviously going to service those clients who have an appointment, but then creating this wait list, and you go from whoever was on the wait list first. So right now, using the time to encourage everybody to either make their appointment or to be put on a wait list if they're not able to give a definitive of when they can come in for their appointment. I think that's really key. And then I would ask, okay, so let's fast forward, and we're in the salon, okay, and you've got clients, how do you service them in a different way? What are some things that you would do differently from pre-lockdown or pre-situation that we're in?
For me personally right now, and this is my opinion, I guess, I know that people are going to go about this different ways. What I would do in this case is we have to think, if we see what's happening in China and some places that are starting to slowly come out of this, we don't know exactly what it's going to be like here, but there's time limitations. And even if there wasn't, we have so many clients we're trying to service. I would be thinking of quick services. We've seen a lot over these last 2 weeks even. Philip showed us today some cutting techniques that you could do a haircut. George showed a really cool, George Garcia from last week, of a placement technique that is just beautiful to give some beautiful pops of highlights. I would start thinking of different ways of working in the salon that you can get clients in singularly if you need to, not taking, trust me, I come from the school of every 30 minutes, another client in my chair. To me, I think those days are over right now. It's a new way of working for me. It would be of different ways to make sure, and having those, it's back to communication, letting your clientele know, I want to touch as many of you as possible, just like we were all in this together with the world. I need us to now be all in this together as my clientele, and as this family of ours, of whatever, if it's your salon or your personal clientele. And I think it's all about how you set it up. Letting your clients know, everyone, we're going to be working together to make sure we can see all of you as soon as possible. And these are the services right now that we're offering that are going to get you feeling beautiful and feeling great. And, let's schedule this appointment, and really having certain time limits on how long you're going to see certain clients is what I would do.
Excellent. One of the things that Sam Villa actually said on last Thursday, was having sort of a grand opening, like planning a grand reopening, if you will. And I think that what is interesting is sort of taking that space, right? Meaning that time between when you actually have your grand reopening and start having clients, and being able to set the salon up in a way that honors all of this, you know, perhaps the social distancing, etc.
Yes.
So if you are in a suite and you normally double book yourself, and you've got two chairs next to each other, now might be the time to see if you can, you know, rearrange so that one chair is a little further. I don't know. It's I think there's a lot for us to sort of keep in mind as we're looking at that next thing, and really starting to think of once the doors are open now and preparing ourselves for that.
Absolutely. And Sheri, I think too, you know, having those check-ins, because maybe you checked in with your client 2 weeks ago. Now her hair may need different things that you didn't discuss 2 weeks ago. So just really having like a realistic expectations for your clients and just keeping those communications open, whatever the best way is for you to do that, I think is going to be really key. And when we go back to work.
Yeah, I think if I could say, I'd wrap up your hot tips, if you will, in one word, which is hard to do because there were so many. It's communication.
Yeah.
So there's now's not the time to under communicate. Now is actually the time to, as we might say, over communicate to our guests, our clients, to let them know what's going on, and figuring out how, you know, I say what's wanted, what's needed, and serve. And thank you for those hot tips. I know people certainly have watched you sort of through your career behind the chair, and love to hear your thoughts on it and what you might do differently. So what do we have going on the rest of the week, Alfredo?
Wow, today was amazing, right? I mean, I'm super excited. And tomorrow we're going to be live on my page with my lovely co-host, who I'm staring at right now on my phone. And it's going to be 1 p.m. EST. And I'm super excited tomorrow. We've got Mustafa Afsi and Sean Goddard. Love both of them. Mustafa, you know, we know he was very public about the fact that he was in the hospital with coronavirus and overcame it. And we're so happy to hear that. And I've been talking to him, and I know he's really excited to talk to people tomorrow. He wants to educate stylists, share what happened with him, and really he has something that he wants to talk to people about tomorrow. And I'm so excited to have him. And Sean, you know, Sean is somebody who I admire, I look up to. I've seen him so many times on stage. I can remember once at one of the shows, it was when you guys had the subway and the guitar player and everything, and he got up, and I remember watching him educate, and just always so blown away by Sean and his work. And so he and I know each other, but we don't get to talk as much as we'd like. So I think it's going to be fun tomorrow. I think we're going to just have a really fun Q&A together and get to know each other a little better. And what better place than on an Instagram Live, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And then everybody, don't forget that on Wednesdays on both Alfredo and my page, we have Ask Us Anything. And really, this is just about you being able to share what you'd like to hear for the next time we're all together. Yeah. So please visit the page. It's sort of our, oh gosh, I had a great, in my mind, I can picture it. It's whatever is at the back of the boat that steers the boat. You know, it's not a rudder. Oh, I actually don't know.
Wait, I know. Oh gosh, I don't know. I know.
Anyway, so it's what helps us understand how to guide the conversations for you all. A what?
Is it a compass, kind of?
No, I do know, but it could be a compass. We can call it a compass. And then on Thursday, live on my page, again, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That seems to be a good time for all of our friends. And I mean, I'm just going to announce it now because I want you all to join me. And that is on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do Sparkle Hour, which is me DJing live from my channel. And you know, I'm flirting with how not to get kicked off. I made it a whole hour, Alfredo, without getting kicked off this last week, and hopefully we'll continue to see that happen. There are new videos that are on the channel RMB. Don't forget to subscribe. Then you get your You get your notifications of
they got to hit the bell, ding, 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 and they'll get notified.
Yeah, you get notifications, hit the bell of what's happening. Please leave comments again so we know what it is that you'd like to see. We do have a special R&B live on YouTube channel. That's this Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's with the PBA. So please join us because we want to be able to have them share with us some information on where we're at now and things that can help you, resources for you moving forward. And then tomorrow and only because I'm seeing his name pop up right now at 7 p.m. There's a lot going on.
That's good. We have a lot of education for everybody. It's amazing.
My channel, visit Alfredo's channel, because we'll continue to help you understand share with you what's going on. Other than that, know that we are R&B. We're here to help raise your bar, raise my bar. Redken Matrix Biolage coming together to bring you education that fits exactly what you want, what you need.
And I want to give them one little sneak peek for next Monday so they can know what to expect. Next Monday, you guys, 1 p.m. EST, right here on our YouTube Live. We have Sean Goddard, amazing, who's going to be on my Insta Live Tuesday. We have the amazing Danielle Kiesling, who's going to be on. And we also have Roxy Beauty Touch. Roxy is going to be talking to us about color correction and going back to the salon, doing a demo for us. Everybody is. Cannot wait to have Sean, Danielle, and Roxy next week right here with you, Sheri, and me.
That's right.
Everybody
so thank you, everyone, for joining. Until next time.
We love you guys.
Love you.
See you next week.